Hello, everyone. We're again, and it's episode 42. Welcome, Delboy.
Hello.
Thank you so much, as usual, to coming here to just talk away, and whatever will happens. Um, so, um, as usual, I'll say, what have you been watching this week?
Well, to be quite honest, it's been a pretty low week. Do you know what? There's still a lot of films that you can pick up, but not a lot of new titles. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Arrow have just released their list for April, and I'm going, yeah, but what about January and February? What a load of shit! There's nothing coming out. I've been actually downloading films for you and I to watch more than I
yeah,
have been getting stuff through the post.
yeah,
And Jim Jam's in, and he's doing a nice little series of show me the shit that you've bought from the charity stores. And to be quite honest, that's probably about the only place you can actually go to get anything.
yeah.
So there is a couple of titles that I've downloaded that I'm going to watch. I'm just going to read out the titles. I have no idea if they're any good. One's called From Ground Zero, which is supposed to be the stories and lives of people in Gaza during the conflict, which sounds really interesting. I like some of those types of things. The Fire Inside, which apparently is up for some nominations because it's sort of like Cinderella. You remember that Cinderella Man film that Clint Eastwood won, where it was about a woman boxer. This
Oh,
one's
yeah.
a true life story of a woman boxer that tried to go into the Olympics.
All right, yeah.
So that sounds quite good. There's a couple of films that I've heard of, but I really just don't know what they're about. There's one called Drained, which is a sort.
Yeah.
I think it's
Why not?
a vampire type film. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But we all know about Conclave and everything. There's another one that I missed as well called Blink Twice,
All right.
and a film called A Real Pain, which I think a lot of people in
I
here
think
will
I've
have
got
heard
that
of.
Real Pain. Yeah, I've seen that one. Is it about
Yeah.
the two brothers, the
Yeah.
cousins? I think the
Yeah.
two cousins. Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's good actually. It's very good. It's where they go to Poland.
And then there's another one with Andy Garfield, which I've been meaning to watch for a while, called We Live in Time, which I talked about.
I've seen that one around. I've not watched it, but I've seen it around. Yeah.
You know, so there's a couple there. But
Yeah.
those are the ones that I've downloaded. Now, to ease bloody Jim Jam, little sod, I suppose I better show what I bought at the charity store the last week. Where's my settings? There it is. Right there. This was £2, which is just the TV series True Blood, but it's 4 seasons and Blu-ray. £2.
Wow, that is a bargain. Yeah,
£2.
Yeah.
And this one was £2 as well, only it's DVD. It's 3 seasons of Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's sort of like during Prohibition.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's come through Steelbook wise in the post at the moment is Loki season 2 Steelbook. Really poor what's coming out, to be quite honest. Hopefully I've got some more stuff coming shortly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure that you're going to have a bumper selection of stuff because that bloody Tony York will have sent you a shitload of stuff. Yeah. A little bastard.
Oh dear.
Here I am suffering with showing you what crap I've got, right? And you're going to go, oh, but yeah, here's what I've got. Look, I've got a big box like this.
Poor Tony. Poor Tony. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'll tell you what I have watched. Sorry, this is definitely that I've watched over the last couple of nights, and that is I've been watching the Rambo films from First Blood.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now Legend TV started to show them ITV4. Sorry, started to show show them on TV the other night, and I thought, well, I've got these on 4K. It's about time I got them out. So I got them out, and I went, oh, do you know what? It's about time that I started to watch these again. And I got so involved with them that I got my extended scores by Jerry Goldsmith, by the way, just for let you know, Jerry Goldsmith.
Jerry Goldsmith. Yeah, we've had it now.
There's very little to tell you just how great those scores are. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic scores, you know. The Rambo films, I think, were some of the best works he ever did. You know, the first 3 films anyway, up to Rambo 3, you know. I think everybody can hum the Rambo themes. Do you know what I mean? They were just superfluous. You know, they were just brilliant, really. But I had to mention those because the picture quality actually of the 4Ks weren't that bad. I thought they were going to be pretty poor. But one of them was in that deluxe setting, you know, that cost £100, you know, the great big box that they brought out. Zavi brought out, I think, for a while. The last one they brought out, though, was, I think, Leon. And then they stopped doing them. They were ones that came with a dog tag and individually numbered and all of that sort of stuff. They were absolutely brilliant. So yeah, definitely worth a watch if you haven't watched Rambo for a while. I mean, that's sort of like that's just a comfort zone to go back to when you've seen them so many times. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
I think the first one is miles better than the rest.
Oh, of course. What I'm trying to get at is
the others are okay.
The first film, like anything, it's a little bit like watching Alien and Aliens, right? It's the same sort of thing with Rambo and Rambo 2, right? Rambo was all about him, an outcast, the country not loving him, all of his people that he'd been in the army with are all dead, and a sheriff that basically didn't like the look of him, saying piss off, right? And then the second one is all about all out action, going into to rescue prisoner of war, type things. And so basically one is one man against an army, and the other one is one man against a foreign army and rescuing prisoner of wars. And it was really to show, I love my country, but my country doesn't love me. If it wasn't going to hammer it home more than Rambo 2 was going to. And the funny thing is, James Cameron did the script, didn't he, for Rambo 2? He actually wrote that screenplay. So there's the James Cameron number 2 stamp when you consider that Aliens is his stamp on that. You know what I mean? It's but, their bubblegum affair from 3 onwards.
It's like a lot of films, isn't it?
The fifth one was poignant. The fifth one is poignant. It's all like I'm gonna die here. Do you know what I mean? My war has gone from me, my inner self, going out there to find myself, to being I'm in my home and now everybody's attacking me, even in my own home. Where is there for me to go? In fact, he rides off into the distance on a horse, if I remember rightly, and you don't know if he did that to die, because he was pretty much blooded up at the end of that film. But I tell you what, it had a very poignant score of music at the end, with a very slideshowy of all the films, that all snapshots of all the films at the end. Do you know what I mean? And Jerry Goldsmith had been dead 8-9 years, and the composer of that particular film did a homage, and it was quite nice. It was pretty good. It was a nice thing to do, but Cy Robson's just said it's almost as good as Condor Man. Where do these people come from? Condor Man, biggest pile of piece of shit crap. If you want me to swear, you've come to the right place. If you're going to start mentioning Manimal and bloody Condor Man, I mean, Jesus, Manimal, my God, man, Manimal, Jesus, you piece of shit. So There you are. Over to you and your relaxed way of saying how much Tony's been sending to you.
Yeah. No, well, you sent me this new Star Trek film,
Pile of shit.
Section 31, and honestly, that is not Star Trek. I don't know what it was. What the hell was it?
When has Star Trek got anything to do with a sword? What's this?
And honestly, if you come on, you're a script editor. Somebody comes along with a script and says, "Oh, I've got some great characters in here. I've got this Vulcan, and I'll tell you what, he's got an Irish accent, and guess what? Inside him, he's got a cage in his stomach. What the bloody hell were they doing? Where is the script editor?"
I mean, we've talked, haven't we, that so many films and TV series have got too much fan service. If ever something needed fan service, it was in that film. There was absolutely none.
It was awful. It just wasn't Star Trek. What was Michelle Yeoh doing? I mean, she's good. I like her, but in this, what she struggles. It's so bad. It's just terrible. That is not Star Trek. And have you noticed this pattern? It's exactly the same series as that we've loved from a child, like Doctor Who. And they're just rubbish. They're rubbish now. What on earth have they done to our favorite series?
Did that particular thing? I mean, I haven't looked.
Yeah.
I think it's a character that came out of Discovery, isn't it?
Which one?
This new Star Trek that we're just talking about.
Came out of Discovery. It's like a spin-off from the Discovery in that alternative.
It is Discovery, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
alternative
Discovery. To be quite honest, you see, there's Star Trek, right? And then there's Discovery, and then there's 50 layers of shit, and then there's that, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if you thought Discovery was bad, you ain't seen nothing.
This
right?
is a new low.
Nothing till you watch 1 hour and 20 minutes of that drivel.
It really is bad. I mean, I can't believe that a script editor. What are they paying these people for? These script editors? You know,
I honestly, no word of a lie. I double clicked to start that film off, and a voice boomed out, "Oh no, not that shit."
Yeah.
And then it started.
Yeah. Oh, everything about it was wrong. Everything. I can't think of any positive. Apart from, I said, Michelle Yeoh, she's good. I like her. But in this, what could she do? I think it's just like what's happened with Doctor Who. Something has seriously gone wrong with these people. They've got no common sense. Whoever's in charge.
I seriously don't know how you could put the Star Trek moniker on that film. I mean, you could have put, just to annoy you, could have put June right at the top, June section, and it would have been what? It was the same sort of disjointed mess.
Yeah, it's the mess. And it's something is seriously wrong when your favorite, and I have to use Doctor Who because your favorite things that you loved as a child, Doctor Who and Star Trek, and now you can't recognize them. They're not what you were watching then. They're just. I mean, it's sad. It's bad. I mean, why? Why have they done this? Haven't they got any idea what they're doing? I don't think they have.
They reckon that Star Trek was in a slump for quite some time because there were too many concepts around God complex. Everything was a God complex. You had Apollo, that's a God complex. You got V'ger, it's a God complex.
I'd rather have anything.
This, a sword. What's this got to do with the Federation? What the bloody hell? If you wanted to make a good one-off film. Just look at the episodes they made of Picard season 3 and just go expand one episode of that.
They can do it. Yeah, Picard season 3 proves that you can still do it. But I'm beginning to think nowadays,
just choose one episode out of any of them of that season and expand that, and you'd have everybody going, "Yay!"
It borrowed off the Star Wars thing where you had a bar scene and there were all the different aliens. It had no invention at all, and they're all a load of rubbish. The story just doesn't make any sense, really.
Anyway, look, I'm going to let you talk because there's a load of people talking, and I think we ought to get to the comments shortly. So
but I just think that is really bad, honestly. But I just want to say, I think this is something that made me think a lot of people saying to buy all the new stuff, and you should actually go into your own collection and enjoy some of the things that you have in your own collection again. And I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. So you know what I did? I started watching these again. This is absolutely brilliant. These outer limit stories.
How many of those have you got?
I've only got this one because they're so rare.
Isn't that a shame? I'm exactly the same. Yeah. I've only got that first one, right? I've got them all digitally, but in America you can get the lot.
Yeah. So it's expensive here, blooming heck.
In America, you can get the lot in America. Yeah. They released certain packages, like certain episodes that you could get, right? And they only did one whole season. That first season, that was it. And it's the same for Quincy over here.
Yeah.
A number of other things where they started off with 1 or 2 seasons and then never bothered anymore. It's annoying. Carry on. Outer Limits. By the way, Outer Limits, spot on. Everybody ought to watch the new Outer Limits. It is spot on.
Fantastic. I know you're going to have a rant, but it's the Tony spot, as you might call it. But this, honestly,
that bastard. He keeps getting about. I'm sick of that name, Tony.
Look, this film.
Right, carry on.
I did mention it in your blog because I think it's so good. It's called Black 47. It's a Western, really, and it's set in 1847 in Ireland, and it is superb. It's a really good look at the potato famine era, or when there was this massive famine, and about English rule as well in Ireland. Fantastic film. I don't know. I just thought
I remember that in your words to me in your blog, and I went to look for it. I haven't got round to downloading it yet. But
honestly, it's good to see some Irish history that we perhaps didn't know about.
But the trouble is, I really want to buy it, so I'm probably going to buy it after this. Being as you've said, what a great film. I think you and I are on track when it comes to good stuff. So I think I'll probably go and buy that.
It's a bit of history that you might not know, and it's good.
Yeah.
To know that about Ireland and in Victorian times, how British rule was going on in Ireland and what happened. This famine was a massive thing. The population of Ireland is lower now than it was before the famine in the 19th century.
Yeah, the potato famine, wasn't it? The potato famine, wasn't it?
It was that bad. It was that bad. It devastated the country. Incredible.
Another good place to see some westerns that are outside of America is ones that are set in Australia and New Zealand. Those are really quite good as well.
Very good. Australia's got a lot. It's got that feel, hasn't it? Australia.
Very big similarity in looking and all that sort of stuff.
The frontier kind of things. The frontier business is really good. Australia's perfect for that. Anyhow, right, we'll get into the comments. Okay, so.
No, is that all you watched?
Yeah, that'll do, won't it? That'll do.
What about music?
Oh, I thought I don't want. Music. I've done a video for Friday, my music spot, and it's about my Alice Cooper CD collection.
Oh wow, you're talking about Alice Cooper.
I love Alice Cooper.
Hang on, roll on. Alice Cooper. Yeah, come on then. Let's start the comments. Fuck's sake.
Alice Cooper's fantastic. Absolutely love Alice Cooper since 1972. just fantastic, Alice Cooper.
Now,
Anyhow,
if you'd have started to
let's get
talk
on.
about if you'd have started talking about Jerry Goldsmith, I'd have let you carry on talking. But you're talking Alice
No,
Cooper.
I would. I'm not daft. I'm not talking about Jerry Goldsmith. We don't want any of that. Who wants Jerry Goldsmith and his blooming film scores? We don't want film scores. Blooming, we want proper albums. Yes, want proper stuff. By heck. Anyhow,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Who wants all that? Blooming heck.
Otherwise, we'll start talking about 2001.
Yeah, well, don't get on about that. Anyhow, we've got Jim Chambers and TV saying, good evening, guys. Good evening. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. And then we've got, again, he says, late again, I see. Laugh out loud.
Now,
did the alarm not go off, Delboy?
What did I say? Now, whose fault, right, was it tonight? No. I was here.
Yeah. He was here. He hadn't fallen asleep.
No.
But, anyhow, we've got Steve's Gaming. Hello, you old buggers. Is Del sleeping again? You see,
no, he should know, because I was over helping my mate Mainmeister, by the way, who actually was plugging your channel as I left him, because I was helping him with his camera problems. And he said he'd probably be over after he's finished streaming tonight. And I left there at 10 to 8 and came here. So Steve's Gaming was bloody there. He knows full well I weren't sleeping, miserable bastard. He's just he's shit stirring. There's my salute to Steve, the bastard. Right, there you go.
And then we've got let's see, Jim Jam Moves and TV. Happy to have you on board, Deli. That's for his video, which he's putting together, or asking various people their best charity shop bargains.
Well, that's all you ever buy, isn't it? So what are you sending?
No, well, I ain't got any. I haven't got any charity shop bargains.
You got some from World of Books, haven't you?
Nothing really from a charity shop. I've never been. Not recently. I have been to charity shops, but I don't go out much. So.
Actually, I've got a funny feeling, right, that your house looks like the house that Bagpuss had, right? And Tony brings videos to your door, and you put them in the window for people that pass by in case they lost them or something. Yeah,
no,
in fact, your middle name's Emily, isn't it?
Oh dear.
I bet you've got a Bagpuss, haven't you, somewhere past that sofa or something?
Yeah. I have actually got.
Have you got mice on a mechanical mouse organ? Have you? Have you got that somewhere?
Anyhow, we'll move on. And then we've got Cyrus.
Is your dad's name Professor Yaffle? Anyway, right, go on. Evening, gang. Hello, Si.
Hello, he's at it again. Don't worry about him. Don't worry. And then we've got Jamie. Evening, Muddy Funsters. Oh, Funsters. Thank you. Hello, Jamie. Welcome. Is Del streaming from his sex dungeon tonight?
What's that all about?
I have no idea.
What's sex dungeon? Yeah. Even if I turn off my picture, right? What sex dungeon? Where do we get these people
I can't see
from?
the whips and the.
Where do we get these people from? I've got a nice Nosferatu type vampire thing going on behind, right? What's this sex dungeon shit? Do I deserve this crap? Hey, really? I plug these people every Sunday saying how nice they are. I come in here and I've got sex dungeons. I've made people late. I mean, what's going on?
And then we've got Tony saying, evening, Del. Is Del in a pit or a forest?
Bloody hell.
There. Well, after all what he says about you, Tony, I don't know where he is. Evening, Jamie and James. Tony says, and we've got Jim Jam. Who remembers a series called Wycliffe? Just complete set now. Now, yes, I do remember it. I think it was probably on ITV. I didn't
Yeah,
really
it
watch
was.
it that much. To be honest, I didn't really watch it, but I knew it was there. And I presume it's on network by any chance, is it?
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. Actually, I was thinking of him because do you remember last week I said there was a complete collection of what was it? It was what was before Lewis? It was Morse. Yeah, Morse, right? They had about 9
Oh, yeah.
series of Morse in a
Yeah.
box set, right? For a tenner, right? Today it was New Tricks. Went into the charity shop, they had seasons 1 to 6 and then season 9. And they
Well,
were
that's a
60
BBC
they
one, isn't it?
they were 60 pence each.
Well, that's cheap, isn't it? Yeah.
But even my mum got sick of watching those. So I mean, what's the
Yeah.
point of me bloody getting those?
I never watched them.
My mum can't stand things like Foyle's War anymore because they've shown them too many times. They got Foyle's War on, Witchcliff, A Touch of Frost, Lewis. They put them on rotate. You know what I mean?
I've never seen it. I've never seen Inspector Morse or Lewis. Never seen them. Never watched them.
Well,
No.
Inspector Morse is set around Oxfordshire. I mean, I should actually like it, but it's just they've been on telly a lot. That's all.
I just didn't fancy it. Yeah, it's just seemed another one of those shows.
Well, it's because they don't have Yorkshire tea in it. You stupid sod.
Yeah.
That's the reason you don't watch it. It's because the southern softness down there or something.
All posh people and all that crap.
Bollocks.
Bloody hell.
We're not all posh. Let's take me for instance.
These middle class places where they have crimes. Blooming hell.
Not middle class.
Yeah, blooming. I don't know. Buy it. Charles Duncan, Ian and Al, do you think this AI is going to spoil the future of films?
If it's not curbed, it might possibly do that. I mean, at the end of the day, all the extras were so enraged about it that they struck, didn't they? You know, they said, "You're not having my likeness." Yeah. If they don't curb it in, if they don't use it wisely, AI can be a wonderful thing. I'm going to tell you now, I don't have a problem with AI if it's used in a good way. But it's just the ways that they're moving it now is wrong. I don't want to see a Parkinson do an interview with Muhammad Ali and they're both dead and they've 2 AI characters trying to talk to each other. Don't want all that bollocks. Do you know what I mean? AI can be great. AI can, you know, you can use it in photograph manipulation or something, you know, to correct camera lens problems and all of this sort of stuff, which I've got no problem with, right? Or you've got this yes, I'll tell you what, say they found 22 minutes of Doctor Who footage and it was 25 minutes, which meant that it was 3 minutes all the way through the 25 minutes. It was 3 minutes and they were in 10 seconds 10-second intervals where it was all wrong. AI filling in those 10 seconds every 10 seconds, you know, so that you can have the whole thing, great. But I don't want AI to write the whole episode for me. You know, the footage is totally gone and the AI writes that 25 minutes. Right? No. To fix little frame skips, to get rid of little dust marks that are on pictures, great. Don't mind that. That's my opinion, eh? AI is a buzzword that we're going to hear now every day, every week. It's in everything, right? It's in the papers, it's on the internet, it's everywhere, right? I don't know your opinion. I hope you're going to say something shortly when I shut up. Yeah. It's just that I don't want to say AI is the killer. It's AI, if used wisely, I've got no problem with. That's it. That's all I've got to say.
Something that interests me is obviously history is the thing that I love, and therefore, when they discover old film and AI then can clean it up and make it
Yes,
look good,
as a tool.
it's
Yeah,
fantastic. Isn't that great? But then you start to think, I don't like it then if they're going to say, oh, why can't we just imagine a bit more from this, and then they turn it into something else and saying this was, a Victorian street scene or what have you, and you're thinking, hey up, that can't be right. And to start almost making people believe that what you're seeing is genuine piece of history when
yeah,
it's not. It's false. I mean, people forget that there wasn't much film in the 19th century, relatively,
no,
and therefore, if you start seeing scenes that are of Victorian England, you should start questioning what you're watching
yeah.
because there's very little. I know there is actually a sort of some genuine film, but it's of Queen Victoria's funeral or just before her funeral. But there
Oh,
isn't
was that
much.
wasn't that found in one of those what the butler saw machines where you turned it round? It was all the cards, and they'd actually showed a loop of
I
that
think it
of
was,
her
yeah.
funeral.
They've redone it up, but it's genuine film of Queen Victoria.
Yeah,
Some of her last, and then of course her funeral. Because could you imagine her funeral was a massive occasion? I mean,
yeah,
crikey, 1901. It would have been. It was the near. It was just. It would have been so big, that as an event. But that, from speaking as somebody who really is fascinated by history, I'd hate to think that they'd start meddling around and trying to create these situations and people not knowing that they've been manipulated. Hopefully, people will make it clear that this is being manipulated and it's not genuine, because it's dangerous to me. Because it's almost like going back to what Orwell was talking about history being rewritten and changed and manipulating it. And it's fine at the moment, but you think about all these things, what you can do. This, we know, for instance, this is just how it's already been done in a different way. We know in Russia, the Russian Revolution, right? When the Bolsheviks got in and Stalin, they started changing the photographs because they didn't want pictures of Trotsky. Lenin was always revered, but Trotsky was considered a rebel, a dangerous revolutionary. And when Stalin got in power, all photographs were Trotsky was removed. So okay, yeah, that was happening then. That would be in
that's something though
1920s.
that I mentioned in another
Yeah.
blog review where I said that the incoming kings doctored the portraits of the previous kings to
Yes.
make them look
They
worse
have
than
to.
they, so
Richard
that they
III
made
is the
themselves look
example.
great. You know what I
Richard
mean?
III, yeah. But what I'm saying is that if we look at it at that level, that it could get AI could be perfect for people justifying being in power and doing what they're doing because they can they're kind of changing history. They can change history through AI. So it has to be made clear, but hopefully we can see that if things have been manipulated. But as somebody, I love it when we see, how people lived, on film. It's usually beginning of this century. It's fascinating, isn't it? Just seeing how the
Yeah,
way people dress, the way they are, and fantastic. But I do worry that, you know, the things that have been manipulated are not genuine anymore. And I think that's worrying. I don't like it because
yeah.
it's not genuine. It's not how history was. It's great when they clean film up. That's great, and there's nothing wrong at all in that.
Yeah.
It's when we
But
start changing.
that's what I was saying,
Yeah,
though, Ian. I was
yeah,
saying if it's used as a tool, great. But Steve, I think Steve from Steve's Gaming said it best. He actually put a comment and he said, AI will never be used wisely. You
no,
can bet your bottom dollar that that is not going to happen, and I believe that as well. I do think. I mean, I tried to use my words,
yeah,
wisely, by saying
yeah.
if AI is a tool that is used correctly, then we're in a good
It's
place.
good. Yeah,
But the trouble is, we know full well that that's not going to happen. Just every time
yeah,
I open up Google now and I do a search, the first thing at the top is some AI thing, and then it's got the actual searches underneath it. It's like
yeah,
everywhere. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
It is. Yeah, it's quite frightening in many ways for me. I just think it is. Because what is real anymore?
Yeah.
What is real?
Matrix. We're in the Matrix now.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh no, yeah, but it's because that governments in the past have always liked to manipulate things, and now they've got another tool. It has been there, but they've got another tool to manipulate things, how we see what has been, and that is something we should be concerned about. I think we genuinely should be concerned about it.
Yeah,
Um,
I do. Yeah.
it's frightening what people could do. What can I say? Okay, so I'll move on to the next one. Says hello, Tony. Jim Jam says, and Tony says, thanks as ever for your heartfelt warm welcome down. Poor Tony. I know you get it every week now, don't you,
He
Tony?
knows. He
Yeah.
knows I love him.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. It's just that every week he sends in. I mean, bastard. Just a complete bastard. I
Oh
mean,
dear.
just where's
Oh.
mine?
Right, we've got Sai saying, I'm going to another special screening of a classic film tomorrow.
Oh,
I'll be watching Grosse Point Blank. I can't wait to see and hear that cool soundtrack on the big screen through the sound systems. Here we are.
have you
Soundtrack.
seen Grosse Point Blank?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh,
I've never seen the
I
film.
bought that as a steel book. I think 2 years ago. Was it a year ago?
What's the film about? What is the
It's
film?
hard. I mean, the best thing for you to do really is Google search it. But if it's what I think it is, it's this sort of like Assassins thing. It's
Oh right, okay, yeah.
has it got Dan Aykroyd in it as well? He's
I've
got a
no
very
idea.
small part in it, but it's actually what's his name? Oh, I've forgotten his name now. I'm gonna have to look it up. I know I can see him in 2010. I think his film that he was in. Gross Point Blank, isn't it? Yeah, 1997 film. It's a brilliant film. That's it. I can see him there. It's John Cusack. Yeah,
Oh
Dan
right.
Aykroyd is in it. It is. It's sort of like I don't know how to explain it really, but it's sort of like an assassin film. There's lots of
No,
gunfire in it. You wouldn't think Dan Aykroyd would be in it.
no.
He's totally out of it. But I was quite right. I was quite right about Dan Aykroyd being in it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's just weird. Just a
Oh
weird film.
right.
I tell you what, Sai's going to have a blast with it. He'll have a blast in the same way that True Romance gave me a blast when I saw it at the cinema. Right, when I saw True Romance at the cinema, it really was a spectacle of a film. It was absolutely brilliant. I loved the music. I loved how it looked. All of that sort of stuff. The Grosse Point Blank doesn't get enough coverage. I don't think it's not mentioned very much. If
Yeah.
you go to movie chats across YouTube at the moment, people will not be talking about Grosse Point Blank.
No. No.
You know what I mean? And they should, because
Yeah.
it is good. I
Right.
enjoyed it anyway. Si, you're
Yeah.
going to get a blast from it, matey.
Oh, that's good.
Can I come with you?
Right. And
Can I go on a Wednesday at 8 o'clock and get out of this piece of shit?
yeah, okay. We'll pay for you to go then. And then Tony says, saw your pickups earlier, James. Triffids is good, yes. Got the Blu-ray last year. Flombards, I remember watching, only vaguely, so long ago. I know my dad really loved it at the time. Oh, right. And then Jim Jam says, thanks to you. And then thanks, Tony. Yep, still adding to the collection. All right. And Steve's Gaming, Dell sent me a laptop. The guy is a legend. And as a thank you, I've just posted him a complete DVD series of Manimal. Of course,
but
you have to have the Manimal joke.
He can sod right off, the bastard. I send him a laptop and he sends me a DVD series of Manimal, the bastard. I've already got Manimal. I don't want Man.
Why, you might need another copy.
In fact, actually, all in the world, please, can you send me your copies of Manimal? Because I will put them in my garden, put creosote all over and fucking set fire to all of them. It's shit, and everybody that Ian Carmichael, you know what I mean, Ian McCorkin there, what a piece of shit he is.
Oh,
now he was going to be Bond, wasn't he? You know this more than me. Wasn't he going to be a Bond? He was going to be George Lazenby, but he was one of the ones considered, wasn't he?
He could well have been, yes. Yeah.
Ian McCorkin there.
Yeah.
But then again, even at that time, they were going to actually have who actually did become Bond in the end. Bloody hell.
Brosnan.
Yeah. He was only 21 when they
really early on. Yeah. Yeah.
He said, come and see. He said, come and see me in a few years' time. I think it was like 20 years later or something.
And it did, yeah.
Yeah, we need you to be Roger. We need you to be Roger Moore's age or something before you can join it.
And then we've got Tony saying, Wycliffe, I've seen a few episodes on TV. Good series, overshadowed somewhat by Morse, I think.
Yeah, it would have been.
Made a lot of episodes of Morse.
It was further up north, so of course it was overshadowed.
And then Jim Joseph says, when we meet it again, Dell.
He says that every week, and I've told him the same thing every week. He said, it's going to happen, but I've got to get better. I've got to get my tablets under control. I've got to get time off work.
It's too parky at the moment, walking around.
Yeah, he'll trust me to get a bloody train ticket and it snows or something, right? Well, it probably happen.
Trust it yet. And,
it is going to happen. It's just, I must admit, it's one of those things where do you know what? I only finished my physio yesterday. It's a slow old process, after you've had a heart attack. You know what I mean? But I have finished my physio, and they've referred me to some more physio, but not because of my heart, but it's because of my sciatica. So I'll be doing some more to help me with walking. They've recognised that I'm flat-footed on my left side because they didn't teach me to walk after I got sciatica the first time round. So that's the reason why I've got arthritis of the knee, because I'm not walking heel-toe. So you know.
All right.
I can see you were very concerned there, Ian. Yeah,
I was extremely concerned with.
Yeah, I can see that face was full of concern, you bastard. Yeah.
Yeah. Very concerned.
You wait till you chop your finger off, and I'll show you how much concern I've got for that. Go on.
Yeah, I'll get my feet amputated probably.
I'm always concerned when you talk about your legs. I just talked about something, and you showed so much remorse, right? I thought I was looking at a still picture.
It's not still. It's froze. It obviously froze a bit.
Yeah, lying
Yeah,
bastard. Right,
obviously
carry on.
it froze. Yeah.
Come on.
Got that back. And you got a cheerful background this week. That is a really cheerful
It's to match my
background.
mood, you miserable shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. Wow.
I'll choose a different picture.
Yeah,
Carry on
it's all
talking.
right.
Look,
Don't
carry
worry.
on talking.
Yeah.
Carry on. Go on.
Right. And then we've got here Tony saying, hope it was the Steelbook of Manimal, Steve. Yep, this Manimal joke. And then
Bloody Manimal
guys,
piece
the
of shit.
Manimal rules. Yes. It's almost as good as Condor Man.
Bloody Condor Man shit.
And then we got James saying, if any of you guys want to be in a Jim Jam video to show off your Star charity shop finds. Yeah.
Then Tony, please go and see Jim Jam, because we know where you go, you bastard. And then you send them all to Ian, don't you?
And then we've got Jamie says, Rambo 4 is great. It's probably the most graphically violent of the whole franchise. Rambo 5, terrible, agreed. First Blood is by far the best. Yeah, that's a good assessment.
Yeah, the best thing about Rambo 5, the best thing was the montage at the end. That's the reason for watching that film, is just to see the sort of like poignant end. Do you see what I mean? At the end of that film, it really is. You know, Stallone has sometimes some nice words to say. He sits in his chair, he poignantly thinks about his past and what it's all meant, and then you see a nice slideshow of all the other films, and it looks and it with a nice piece of music with a homage to Goldsmith. That's all right. The rest of the film, shit.
Oh dear.
Don't know what the hell he was talking, what the hell he was thinking about. It was all chopped heads and chucking them out of cars and things. Yeah, was all that about? You know, that's as far removed from First Blood Part 1 as you can get.
Mind you, I bet you it was more entertaining than that Star Trek film that we just saw. It would have been. I've already said, haven't I?
There's Star Trek, right? There's Discovery. There's 50 layers of shit, and then there's that film.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Oh crikey! I meant to ask you, because you probably know more about Star Trek than I know. Is there going to be this academy, Star Trek Academy? Is that on the cards really? Or is it
I don't think so. They've tried doing Lower Decks, and they've done all of this sort of like all fringe stuff. You know what I mean? I think the biggest thing that they could do now is have 7 of 9 as captain and go off and follow on from Picard. I think that's the best.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's the best direction they can hope for with Star Trek.
Yeah. But I suspect they want some more rubbish for streaming, and we're going to get more like what has just happened.
I'll tell you, the most entertaining thing was that little clip that I sent you. Do you remember where it showed AI using Kirk and Spock?
Yes. That was beautiful. Yeah.
That was great. That was a good use of AI.
But they won't do that. They won't go back. Oh, they haven't. They should have learned from season 3 of Picard. They're not going to learn from that because the people in charge are not interested.
I think that's about as good as it's going to get. It's the 3rd season of Picard, I think.
Yeah, it's like Doctor Who. It's exactly this. It's strange how both have fallen so low, Doctor Who and Star Trek.
I agree. It is a shame. You know how much I love, the original cast.
For me, it's same for you. The childhood things that you've loved from your childhood, and they've done this to them. It's not right, Anyhow, Tony says when Rambo gets hold of that machine gun at the end of Rambo 4, he go crazy.
He does, yeah. Didn't they do a body count in that film? I think somebody turned around and said
Yeah.
it's got the largest body count you could actually ever have.
Wow. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. Sai says, Jim and Jim Jam moves on TV. Do you collect VHS or Laserdisc? He's just asking them. And I say, unfortunately, not, mate.
The correct answer there is yes. Please send it me in the post. Anything that you've got. And then you basically take it to a charity shop, don't you? And you basically
yeah.
No,
And now with all
I-
this VHS stuff going, people might, they might start going, oh, we can start putting up prices of VHS tapes now because we've got loads of people who are thinking it's cool now to collect VHS tapes. And
I mean, I at the very, very start of my blogs, by the way, if you ever go back to the very early days of my blogs, you'll see I actually presented around about 40 of my laser discs. I've got over 100 laser discs.
Well, laser discs are fine. The quality was good, but to get romantic about VHS is ridiculous, in my viewpoint.
Yeah,
it's really, I think, people. I'm not knocking if people do enjoy VHF. It's the memories for them. I think the case and how they see the video. It can't be anything else.
To me, I get whimsical, and I do get all gooey-eyed. I do get all gooey-eyed when I think of me recording stuff. Right?
Yeah.
When BBC Two at 6 o'clock was showing reruns of The Invaders or something, right?
Yeah.
Me setting up the tape recorder so I could have a whole lot and have all the spines of it saying episode 1 The Invaders, episode 2 The Invaders, and all of this, and having a lovely big not so much the stuff I bought sell through.
Yeah.
It was at the time it was great because I was watching all my films, and when they started bringing out the widescreen versions, they started I remember that they started off with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Didn't they? Star Wars Die Hard. There was 3 films. It was Star Wars Die Hard and Indiana Jones, I think, with the 3. No, it was a James Bond. It was a James Bond. The first 3 20th Century Fox films. Do you remember what they were? And then every month they started bringing out widescreen films. And I bought my first widescreen telly so I could watch.
Yeah. Oh, it was
I
good.
bought a 32-inch Philips widescreen monster, right? For all of that. So I can look at it like that. But I don't get I don't get all rose tinted about.
I don't, because I remember buying things like Buffy and putting them on the TV, and they were rubbish then, and having to take them back and try and get them exchanged. Then you'd come back and you'd sit there absolutely tense watching these that you'd bought. The standards went right down of tape or something. They got really bad. And in the end, I was as soon as I saw DVD, I knew that was the future. I immediately, I'm not buying any more VHS. They're gone. And I chucked most of them all out. I got rid of buggers. And I thought, I'll start again. It's exciting. DVD is here to stay. And it was. And still is here because it was a great format. It still is. Whatever people say, DVD is still a great format, And I really like it. I won't get rid of my DVDs. I'm keeping them.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. And then Tony says,
hang on. You didn't read that out.
Sorry?
You didn't read that last one out.
Oh, sorry. I didn't, did I? Sorry, Steve. I get carried away. Right. Did you watch any of these as a kid, and did you like them? The Flumps. Oh, Watch with Mother. Here Come the Double
That's good for you.
How, Magpie, and The Adventures of Parsley. Right. Do you want to go first, or do you want me
No,
to go
you go
first?
first because I've been talking a
Okay,
lot. Go on.
right. What I remember, unfortunately, I do remember a bit of Watch with Mother, um, seeing it on this
Yeah, but you
small
were
black
20,
and white
weren't you?
TV, and to be honest, I didn't. I wasn't that keen then. Andy Pandy and all that stuff.
He weren't that keen because he was 20 years old when
Yeah,
Watch with Mother was on.
it was pretty. I thought pretty naff actually. Double deckers. I was a bit older, and I loved the double deckers. The double deckers were fantastic. I used to watch it when I'd come home from school. This would be in early 70s, definitely. Watching double deckers. And obviously, it got a new lot of people. It carried right on because we had people in 80s talking about it. But I remember seeing it in early 70s, loving it. And then How, of course. Oh, yeah. What's it? Fred Dinage.
Yeah.
I remember him and a few other people. That was
That
quite good.
by the way, that was a Southern Television children's TV
Oh,
program, if I
right.
remember right.
Yeah, I do remember it well.
Just so you know, it was
Yeah,
Southern
okay, no,
Television,
bloody
right?
Southern
Wasn't
stuff.
Northern.
It should
It
have
wasn't
said
Scottish. It
Southern
was
Sausage
Southern
TV.
Television. Just you know.
And then Magpie. Yeah, Magpie. I always loved Magpie. I did watch Blue Peter as well, but Magpie was cooler than Blue Peter.
What was the words of the opening tune to Magpie?
The words: one for sorrow, two for joy, three for a girl, four for a boy, five for silver, six for gold, seven for a secret never to be told. Magpie. Yeah, that's right.
Magpie.
Yeah. See, God, I remembered all that. I don't know how I remembered that, but yeah. And Jenny Hanley, I remember.
Oh, I bet you did. You dirty sod.
Yeah.
Go on, anyway, go on.
You remember Jenny Hanley? I think a lot of people remember.
I think a lot of boys remember her. Yes,
it was just a cooler version.
I've noticed, right, that we can't see your hands when you're talking about her.
Oh dear,
Yay!
the hands. Yeah, and Double Deckers was great fun, wasn't it? Absolutely loved Double Deckers, and I watched How, and it was the educational. Really, it was one of those educational programs, wasn't it? And Adventures of Parsley. Yeah, I remember that. I think that was in the 5-minute slot before the news. Yeah, that's my memories of it. Really, yeah.
So what was Parsley?
He's a lion, wasn't he?
That's right, he was.
Lion, yes.
So I'm just checking your facts.
Worry, I know. Yeah, and what about Hector's house? Do you remember that as well?
Yeah.
Hector's
Same.
house.
They were that was puppets, wasn't it? That one.
Yeah.
And there aren't many recordings of that left, are there? That are in any good condition. I think they're all
really. I didn't know Hector's house had suffered.
But yeah, I remember the Flumps. Northern shit.
Watch with Mother, you probably wouldn't remember.
No, I don't remember. I mean, Watch with Mother to me is all documentary stuff, you know, when they're talking about how children's TV started to me. But you know, Muffin the Mule and all of that, I know it all come from there.
Yeah,
you know,
there we are.
To
be honest, I didn't think they were very good. Andy Pandy, which I always think was pretty boring, really, even for a kid.
Yeah.
It was the posh BBC, wasn't it? Andy Pandy. Yeah. It's posh BBC who didn't really connect.
Nobody really talks about Rupert the Bear too much or anything like that. But
BBC was posh in those days, and it had to change. Regional accents weren't allowed.
You even if you were up north, you had to speak like us. You had to speak like somebody who was in London, didn't you? Really,
the Queen's English, of course, it was. You know,
yeah. The double deckers to me was what I watched between when I was on summer holiday. You know, when we had the 7-week break
Yeah.
from school. I think it was it Mickey DeLenz that actually produced that show from the Monkeys?
It, do you know, it could have been. I don't know. But
Not
when I
sure.
watched it was on. Um, oh, it was on after school. That's when I saw it.
Yeah,
Double
I
Deckers.
mean, it's like
But it
anything,
was
you
one
know.
that obviously it carried on. Um, they could repeat that. It was something that would be
Because you've got to
repeatable.
remember things like the banana splits and the double deckers. They were all faves of the summer holidays. But they
Yes,
actually
yeah,
were actually um on a Saturday or
yeah.
even in
But
even
Double
in
Deckers, and
normal.
when I saw it it was a weekday. It was on,
Yeah.
to after school. It was for the slightly older kids. Yeah, I think it was aimed at.
I remember, if I
Yeah,
remember rightly, in the titles,
yeah,
they got all of the kids in a car and they've got that terrible movie stuff going in the
yes,
background as
yeah,
if they were
yeah,
really
yeah. That's
driving. You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like this.
and
Get on
everybody.
board with the
Yeah,
double
yeah,
deckers,
that's right.
you know, and all this
Yeah.
sort of thing. And
Uh,
my sister particularly liked the little kid with the cuddly toy that she used to hold upside down by the tail of that little
oh,
lion.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember my sister really liking that. How I used to love all those science sort of, like, I used to like think of a number, with Johnny Ball and all of that sort of
Oh,
stuff. I
Johnny
used to love
Boy.
all
Yeah.
that. Who was that scientist that used to wave his arms about a lot?
Oh, oh, uh, somebody Pike. What was his
Yeah,
first
that's
name?
it. It was
I
Magnus.
can't think of
Magnus
his
Pike.
first name.
Magnus.
Magnus
Magnus Pike.
Pike. That's it. Magnus Pike.
Because I
Yes.
used to
Yeah.
watch him and I used to think he's really strong because he used to go and he's an
Yeah. That's it. It was all hands.
and I was going, what the hell's this guy doing?
Yeah.
Anyway, Magpie. Yes, I used to like Magpie. I thought
Yeah.
Magpie was great.
Yeah.
Um, and
I
of course,
liked
the
it because they
Adventures of
had.
Parsley, along with Mary
Yeah.
Mungo and Midge and all of that sort of stuff. Me and Denny sort of like talked about that sort of broadcasting in our first part of children's TV. We wanted to continue that, for more TV programs that you'd watch after you left school rather than the stuff that was on at lunchtime.
Yeah.
You see, Bagpuss and Finger Bobs and all of that was like 1 o'clock. It was in the lunch
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah.
When you got home, it was all screen test and run around and
Yeah.
Cracker Jack and all of
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. And
Yeah.
we were going to go down that route. But of course, there's so much to cover
Yeah.
when you talk about the time from 3:40 till about 10 to 6, right? The children's stuff.
Yeah.
When you left school at 3 o'clock or whatever it was, you rushed home, 3:40, bang. It was all it was everything you were watching. So
I
it was an
think
awful lot.
for me, Magpie was an absolute breath of fresh air because we watched Blue Peter, and Blue Peter may have been good in some ways, but it was very conservative. It was very, it wasn't with it, if you know what I mean. The world was going on, and it tried to be with it. It's like if they had a music on, they wouldn't have anybody in
Yeah.
charts or anything. They'd have some brass band, for goodness sake.
By the way, Charles Duncan has said Mickey DeLenz did Metal Mickey. That's quite true. Mickey DeLenz did do Metal Mickey. What I was actually getting on with the double deckers is I think he actually started out doing British TV by introducing the double deckers to us.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't. I'm not saying that Mickey DeLenz didn't do Metal Mickey. It's just that I think he started off, and I think where he created Metal Mickey, he was an executive producer or something of the double deckers.
Yeah,
and that is a distant memory, and I'm probably wrong, right? But that's what I thought.
Yeah.
For years and years and years. I'll look it up while you're talking. So
all I'll say is, I just think Magpie was a refreshing change to Blue Peter. It just the presenters seemed better in many ways. Not that I'm not. I mean, I enjoyed Blue Peter, but it was never quite there. Whereas Magpie, it was cooler. It just had something better about it for me. But Blue Peter, I did enjoy, but it just always was not, with it really. I didn't want a brass band marching around the blooming studio and all this stuff. They just were so out of touch. Unbelievable. Okay, so I'll move. Tony says,
I'll tell you what, I forgot Melvin Hayes was in the double deckers.
Oh right, yeah. Melvin Hayes went on to do quite a lot of things.
It was actually created by Harry Booth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony says, I was looking forward to Star Trek Section 31. Like the concept. Doesn't sound too good though, hearing your description. Maybe they ought to leave Star Trek alone for a while. Please leave it alone.
Yeah, please leave it alone.
It wasn't.
I will say this: please leave it alone if you're going to bring out crap like that.
It was the lowest Star Trek has ever seen.
I would rather watch 15 seasons of the Orville than
the Orville. Actually, I was reading about that. That we get in another series. They're starting filming it now.
Well, that's the problem, you see, because
Brilliant.
the Orville keeps getting shifted about.
Yeah,
and it's such a shame. I like the Orville, but what I'm saying is, I would rather watch 15 seasons of the Orville.
Oh, I would. Right? They know what they're doing.
Remember this: Star Trek: The Next Generation didn't go beyond season 7, right? So what I'm saying is, right, how it starts to get a bit stale. I would rather watch 15 seasons all in one row with my eyes being kept wide open and saying, you got to watch all the way to the end, right? Then watch that.
But it wasn't even Star Trek. It just didn't feel it was Star Trek. It was nothing to do with Star Trek. It was just crap. That's all it was. I don't know what it was, but who on earth is saying the script editors? Who are they? I don't know. It's crap.
I'll tell you what, Charles has got some great stuff here. Do you know he's put Susan Stanks was the one who was braless on Magpie.
Stanks. Oh,
he's got some great bits of information. Charles Duncan.
Section 31 is Star Trek's Acolyte. That's the Star Wars spin-off, which was removed pretty quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, because it was shit.
Yes. Who likes Pipkin?
I didn't mind Pipkins. Know. It was on again at lunchtime. It had an okayish presenter, if I remember rightly. He was he African American? The Pipkin presenter?
I don't know.
Oh, well, it basically had puppetry. It had Hartley hair, and a turtle, and a pig. There was lots of clocks. I remember that they did these little split sections where you see lots and lots of clocks animated, and then a deep voice went, time, like this. And you went, bloody hell. There's bits that you remember of it, but I never really remembered what the stories were about. You know what I mean? They were sort of like morality things. It was like, let's go down the shops type thing and buy some fruit and veg or something, and you bring it back, and Hartley Hare would have something to say about it, and so would the pig and all of that. But but Hartley Hare, my God, he looked like he'd been put through a hedge backwards. There was He looked like he was falling to bits. He was the sort of glove cup puppet, the sort of puppet that looks like he was about 40 years old when that was being shown. You know what I mean? So, he must have been made in about 1912 or something, right? But it wasn't supposed to scare you, but I think a lot of people were scared by the looks of some of these bloody puppets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was a monkey. There was There was a monkey, there was a rabbit, there was a pig. Can't remember what else. They all had names.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was one of those things that you watched on ITV when other people were watching Finger Bobs and Bagpuss on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jim Jam, a little Jim Jam tip. Be on the lookout in charity shops for 28 days later. Currently trades at £5 voucher. That's
They are top tip from
later.
Jim Jam.
Yeah.
If you want to make some money,
Yeah.
follow that advice.
Yeah. Tony says, remember watching Pipkin on a weekday lunchtime?
Yeah.
With
It was
there you are, a jovial George Woodbridge.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was weekday lunchtime. If you weren't watching that, you were watching Finger Bobs. You know what I mean? It was that sort of thing.
He says, this is Jim Jam, what is your favourite, most memorable episode of Wurzel Gummidge? I don't know.
That's a hard one because I mean, what you've got like 3 seasons of the British one and 2 seasons of the Australian one or something like that. I remember when Aunt Sally was introduced, but I think when Aunt Sally was jealous of Barbara Windsor's The Saucy Stew was quite good. That was in season 2, if I remember rightly. That was a good episode. Because then you started to have all the Carry On people in it, because you already had Joan Sims, and now you got Barbara Windsor in it. You started to go, hang on, this is getting Carry On top heavy, isn't it? They got nowhere to go or something in this. But every single Wurzel Gummidge episode was a great one. I mean, I really liked them. I don't think there was a bad one. Not one really. What's your memories of Wurzel Gummidge? I suppose the song is your memory of it.
To be honest, I'm just looking at when it came out. Wurzel Gummidge was in 1979.
Yeah,
I did. That's why I didn't watch it.
I think he'd just finished doing a stint on Who Done It for ITV.
Yeah,
and then he did the children's program.
I was at university. The last thing I would have been interested in is watching TV, and I didn't watch TV much at all in that era. I was all into music and live gigs and drinking.
No, he was too busy into women. He was too busy into women, the dirty little late night stop out
of the package. So I don't remember Wurzel Gummidge watching it at the time.
But haven't you ever seen episodes since? You know, like have you not got a nostalgia? Haven't you not got you know how people go, I didn't watch it, but it's John Pertwee, so I think I'll go and see if I can see.
I mean, I've seen bits of the clips of him, and he's brilliant. It just suited him, and I've seen, documentaries and stuff, and about John Pertwee, and it's a part he was made for. It
was his pet project. He wanted he seriously wanted to do things for kids. He loved the books, and he really wanted to bring it to life. And I think he took it to Southern Television again. I think it was TVS this time. Was it Southern Television? No, it was Southern Television still then. Southern Television turned to TVS, right? That's what Southern Television turned itself into. But they lost their license just at the turn of the 1980-81.
Yeah.
So that's when Central took over ATV and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, Wurzel Gummidge.
How many seasons did it have?
That's what I mean. I think there was 3 seasons.
So that's 1979 to 82 then, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how sometimes they did 2 seasons in 1 year? I thought I might have my book down there, but I don't. I must have took it. Hang on. Yes, I have, look. Hang on. Here you go. Let me get the old thing off. There you go. Look, Wurzel Gummidge.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Signed.
Fantastic.
I don't know if it tells you quickly how many seasons there were. Because it's a breakdown of episode by episode. You know
Is
what
it?
I mean?
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's a great book. Yeah, it tells you how they hired Eunice Stubbs.
How long was each episode? Was it an hour?
No, 20 odd minutes.
Oh, they're very short then.
I won't keep you going.
It's all right, yeah.
But it's just I thought it might tell you in here. But
Yeah.
I think it was 3 seasons, then it went over to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And they did 2 over there. And then that was the end, I think. There's Wurzel on radio as well, apparently.
Yeah. So ITV didn't want to finance it anymore then, I presume.
I just basically think that ITV said that it had given up, that it would that it's past its sell-by date as a show. You know what I mean? It was all over everywhere, saturated with the song and all of that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, after a while, kids just weren't that interested. Bloody hell, I didn't know there's an animated Wurzel Gummidge as well. Playmation type thing.
Yeah.
I'm not finding it quickly how many seasons there were, but I'm pretty sure there was about 5.
All right, yeah.
I've got them on Blu-ray.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay, so we'll get, let's see, Steve's Gaming. I watched Pipkins, but I hated the damn donkey. Oh.
Monkey.
Right. Monkey. Sorry. Monkey.
Donkey?
Well,
what are you reading?
My eyes jumped. Monkey. And then
he was a cheeky monkey, and I think he had an accent. I think it was Liverpool, was it?
Oh,
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. They all had accents, really.
Sai says J.J. Abrams has ruined 2 franchises: Star Trek and Star Wars. Yeah, I think you might have a lot of people agreeing with you there.
He should have stayed, really, I think, in TV, because Fringe was a great TV show.
Fringe. Fantastic. Yeah.
And then he moved into films. And don't get me wrong, Star Trek. There's a lot of people that do like the new Star Trek. For me, the very first film just looked like it was somebody had smeared Vaseline all over the lens or something, all the lights. And it didn't, to me, it wasn't the Bridge of the Enterprise that I remember.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was all white and clean and looked like Perspex was everywhere and all that sort of stuff. But there's people that love it. I watch it.
Yeah.
I watch it.
Well, after what you've just seen with new episode, then it must be a masterpiece.
Bloody well it is
compared with that rubbish.
Bloody hell.
Jim Jones says, let's get this party started. Oh, recently ordered the complete 10-disc set of The Strangers found on eBay, £15 in postage.
Yeah, 10-disc set of The Strangers.
10 discs. Wow.
Do you remember The Strangers? I can just about recollect it, but not really something that I remember a lot of. No.
Never heard of it, really, to be honest. Sai says Tony Hawk should have his theme tune. Oh.
I'll try and get a theme tune together for Tony. He'll have the words bastard in a lot.
Oh dear. Here we are. Tony says Black 47 is brilliant. It is fantastic. Unusual setting. I'll send you the DVD, Del. Oh, sorry. I don't seem to have it any longer.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I accept the Blu-ray. It's all right. I don't mind.
Oh dear.
I'm not greedy, but the Blu-ray will do. Like I said,
Movies. Evening, Tony. Sorry, was playing a game on my phone. Oh, blooming heck. Jim Jones says, Tony, what you sending Ian next? Laugh out loud.
Yeah, you need a bloody big piece of paper.
What?
A3 size. You know what I mean?
Oh dear. And Tony says, was it more entertaining, Jamie? I like J.J. Abrams' version of Star Trek. Well, you've been told now. There you are.
Like I said, it's got its followers. I didn't mind the first one. The third one was okay. The second was atrocious. I didn't get on with the second one at all. That was the one which was based around Khan. I thought they took too many liberties with that one.
Yeah.
The third one, where they crash landed on a planet and all this, and the ships were sort of like semi in rocks, and they had to try and lift off and all of that. That was all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. James says his Star Wars entries were hit and miss though. Oh right, yes, Star Wars. We always get back to that. Tony says, I've been getting some more Blu-ray upgrades to DVDs, so who knows? There we are.
Now shoot me in the head when you start sending them.
The game was more interesting, Tony. Jim Jam, Tony, I'm always open to DVDs. Wink, wink. They can flog at the charity shops.
Yeah, so you can take it to Ket. Yeah. Art store him in my garage. Just to let you know.
Tony's laughing. Jamie, I want that nice shiny gold steel book of Once Upon a Time in America, but it's extortionate. It's time someone re-released it.
Yeah.
It's Dell's Sex Pit. That's a sex pit.
I'll tell you what. If only I could get some sex, but I tell you,
in a pit, it'd go anywhere. Who's looking forward to the Led Zeppelin documentary coming out in cinemas next month? I didn't know there was one. I'd definitely be interested in it. Led Zeppelin, what a group. Fantastic group. Song Remains the Same was a great film, but another documentary, fantastic. Brilliant. But of course, he's looking perplexed, and it's not a film score. It's a group that play music. Yes.
Sorry, did you mention music then? And
the
word Led Zeppelin in the same. And the word Led Zeppelin in the same
Led
sentence.
Zeppelin, a proper group. Oh, it's brilliant, fantastic group. Yes.
Listen, we all know you love Westlife and boy bands.
Oh, blooming heck. Oh, dear. Yeah, that's more your area, I would have thought.
Actually, look. We all know my bit of background, right? I'm not that into heavy metal, but I did start getting into some Iron Maiden. I did start listening to some of the other stuff that people were mentioning, and I mentioned some tracks, and I said, you know what, that was all right.
You should start listening to.
I've always been the type of person that said, look, if you can write down the notes on a stave, right, then it must be musical. And every single probably Led Zeppelin song, they've had to transpose onto music sheets for other people to play. So it must be playable by other instruments. From that point of view, hey, I've never written a song, so they must be good. I can't write a song. I've never written a song. So
Led Zeppelin, have you heard of the Four Symbols? That's got Stairway to Heaven on. That's a great album.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin 3, The one before it is absolutely fantastic. It's got a lot more folk influence in that, and it is
Yeah.
brilliant. So rock and folk
See,
music.
this is where
What
Muckman
more
Movies has
can
been
you do?
educating me a little bit in worldwide film. And you mentioned some
Yeah,
music that I
yeah,
might not have listened to. But anyway, haven't we been down this album route before? And I said, yes, I've got that album. Yes, I've got that album. And you went, bloody hell, I didn't know you had that sort of stuff. Well, of course I have.
yeah.
I had a youth. It's just that my dad brought me up on soundtracks. That's all.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You know.
James says, yeah, that looks good. I saw the trailer t'other day.
Over there. Over there.
T'other day, lad. Del, it's definitely a sex dungeon you're in tonight. Oh, God. You've got him going with his sex dungeon.
Honestly, look. If I turn that on, does that look like a sex dungeon? Does that look like 1970s
I
porn?
can't see the whips. And as I say, there must be some handcuffs and things around there, but, there must be, yeah. And Sai says, I love Led Zeppelin. Great taste. Brilliant, Led Zeppelin. Absolutely fantastic. James says, I prefer old school Rolling Stones. But yeah, Led Zeppelin are great too. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I like the Rolling Stones,
Yeah, Rolling Stones made some great albums as well. Fantastic albums. Even though, a lot of people, I think, don't think of the Rolling Stones in terms of albums as much. They did produce some great albums, like Exile in Main Street. What a great album.
Weren't they going to reform this year and do a follow up to Brown Sugar called Saccharin?
Oh, the jokes get worse. Yeah, this is what happens,
because they have to be.
Going,
you have to be politically correct. You see, with
oh
all the
dear me. The jokes. Yes. Jim Demos and TV. Ian, if you could own one concert on physical format that hasn't already been released, what would it be and why? I think I have to say it is and I've never seen it available on DVD. Is that one that I've talked about before when I went to Wembley to see, I say, The Who, AC/DC, Nils Lofgren, The Stranglers. I mean, that one, it's in my mind. I'd love to actually see that again. It would be fantastic. And The Who were quite a good lineup. This John Entwistle was there and Kenny Jones.
What year was that?
I mean, it would be about 1979, I think, roundabout that.
So after Tommy, then.
Yeah. And as say, the lineup was good. I mean, now The Who only consists of Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey. They're the only two left, because Kenny Jones is.
I've got a great respect for Pete Townsend because he liked I liked synthesizers.
Yeah.
I mean, he had that great big wall synthesizer that he did. Bubba, didn't he do that? What's it called? Bubba something or other.
Which one?
Well, it's at the beginning of all the CSIs. It's Bubba something or other, isn't it? Bubba.
That's who what is it? Who Are You, isn't it?
No, it's Out Here in the Fields and all that,
Oh, that's on Who's Next one. It's Won't Get Fooled Again. That's what I think you're thinking of. Won't Get Fooled Again. That opens on Who's Next, which is their brilliant album.
Yeah, but that track is called that track is it's something O'Reilly.
Oh, Barbara O'Reilly. Yeah, that's from there as well. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not very good at remembering tracks and all of that sort of stuff. But you know. But I do like the Who, and I love Tommy. I mean, I played Tommy to death in the car.
Yeah. I like the film. The film is good as well. It's got good.
Yeah.
collection
The
of people.
film's good. I wonder how many people have actually got that film. I've got it on DVD though.
Yeah.
I
Tina
must admit, it's one
Turner.
of those ones where I thought I
Yeah.
must get round to probably upgrading that one, but I've only got it on
Yeah.
DVD.
Yeah. Has it had an upgrade to Blu-ray?
Oh, I should think it has.
I don't know. Might be interesting. That, yeah. Maybe that's one that they could look at.
Yeah.
I don't think Quadrophenia has. Has that had an upgrade to Blu-ray?
That's on Blu-ray, I'm sure.
Yeah. Because Quadrophenia is pretty good as well.
I'll look it up. What, you want to know about Quadrophenia?
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it has a Blu-ray release because
I'm pretty sure that's had that's on Blu-ray. It's $7.99 at Amazon. Hang on.
Oh, that's cheap. Yeah.
I'm just looking at Tommy now. Yeah, that's on Blu-ray. That's £17.99. Jesus Christ.
Wow. Is it? That's expensive.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder why that's like. Why is that so expensive?
It might well be that the only version that's in print now is probably one with a documentary on as well, and all of that sort of stuff. It's probably celebrating a anniversary or something. You know what I mean?
So there could be something new coming out on that, a new version. Yeah.
Because I think if you were to ever see the very first Tommy on Blu-ray, it'd be a pretty poor transfer as well. It's when people were learning how to transfer films to high definition.
Yeah.
So a lot of them were a bit ropey at the beginning.
Yeah. Let's have a look. The next one. Jim Jam says, anyone like the Stone Roses? They're okay. I'm not too sure about Ian Brown, lead singer. He went off, didn't he, and had his solo career and then went back when things weren't going that well. I'm not massive. I'll be honest, I'm not a massive fan. They're okay.
I prefer Red and White Roses.
See there.
You know, you have to be careful. You have to be careful of the thorns though, because they really do hurt.
Yeah, I like the Cadbury's ones best.
Yeah, I like Cadbury's Roses.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have thought of that one. That was
you're a bit slow tonight.
Yeah,
lads.
I'm losing it a bit now.
Yeah.
I prefer Cadbury's Roses. Yeah.
Have you seen them live, Jim Jam? I bet you have. I bet you're one.
Of course he has.
Them live. Yeah, we're waiting for video.
I just want to say hi to the stream. Hi guys.
Hello.
There he is. It's my son.
Hey.
Oi, get your dad a bag of chips, you miserable old son.
Yeah. He's not waiting for the takeaway, you see.
Yeah, he can have a large card if you want.
You gotta feed your dad, you miserable bastard.
Anyhow,
no, he's a good lad. He's a good lad.
I presume you've seen them live. Yes, Stone Roses. Have they reformed again?
Yeah, how many times is that now?
They're always. How many times have they reformed? They get reformed, make some money, argue with each other, and then
the next time they reform, they're bringing back TFI Friday. I've heard.
Yeah. Oh, that would be that other one. Happy Mondays.
God.
Yeah. Oh, they're the. Yeah. Tony says, I always thought Morse did seem to involve mainly middle class people. It did. Preferred Frost, filmed in Yorkshire, and more working class characters. Yeah, I always got that impression with Morse, even though I'm not really one that watched much of Morse, because he changed his accent, didn't he? John Thor for that. It just seemed more. It wasn't the Sweeney accent, was it?
Well, no. Dennis Waterman had moved on to Minder. And there was a lot of. I mean, I think actually Morse came out after that crappy thing that he did called Home to Roost, wasn't it? That comedy show or something. That was.
I bet that was a flop.
That was a comedy show with his son or something. Where he was a father trying to, go on the dating scene again, and his son suddenly cropped up or something and spoiled. I can't remember too much about. I hated it anyway. I disliked Home to Roost.
Disliked it. Yeah,
I disliked it.
Yeah.
I liked the Sweeney. I mean, the Sweeney was hard hitting. It was even more hard hitting than the Professionals and all of that.
Yeah. Actually, I think I like the Sweeney a lot more. Yeah, the Sweeney's good. I think the Sweeney's very good. I know somebody who really does love the Sweeney. Yeah, I bet he'll say it in the comments further down.
Not that Tony York bastard again, is it?
I know he's a big Sweeney fan. Seeing Blossoms at Wolverhampton in April.
Oh, I like the Blossoms. I like the Blossoms.
Here we go. Have you got the joke going yet?
No, I like the Blossoms. I really do. They came out with a track. They came out with a track called. It was based on Back to the Future. The video's all Back to the Future. It was How Long Will It Last? Something like that. I think it was called.
Crikey.
Really good.
Yeah.
Their third album was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Bosoms. I don't know about Blossoms.
Oh God. Here we are. Oh dear. Sai says, I've seen Stone Roses live twice. There you are.
Why? Because you couldn't believe it the first time how bad they were, so you went again. It can't really be that bad. I'll have to go back and watch them.
I like that one. I must admit, that was a good one. I'll give you that one. That was a good one. You won't get me though if I didn't like something. I'm not wasting my money. Bloody hell! I'm going to waste my money again twice. Sai flipping awesome. Yeah. They were unbelievable. Yeah. You have to believe it to see it.
Yeah, I could put 3 letters at the end of unbelievable. Unbelievably bad.
Jim just says, I watched Wicker Man other day. Wow, what a film. 3 cuts of the film. Yeah, I saw you showing it in your latest video.
You know what? He's got the only copy I haven't got, right? Because I've got the Steelbook, I've got the deluxe £60 box set version.
Yeah.
And he's just got the standard one. I ain't got that.
Yeah, I've got that one. I've got the standard one. Yeah. Yeah.
I've got everything but the standard one.
It's still 3 discs. The standard one, I think.
It was.
It's still good. Yeah.
It came with the Wicker Man came with a flip up sort of like box. It had the soundtrack in it. I think it came on 4 or 5 discs.
Yeah. That special one. Yeah.
Yeah. Stupid me bought the Steelbook and it's got exactly the same thing.
But you would, wouldn't you? It's a Steelbook, lad.
It's a lovely Steelbook. The Steelbook's lovely though. It's all purple and everything.
Yeah. Now, if they bring a Steelbook of the Star Trek thing, so-called, that we saw, will you be buying it?
Yeah, but I'd throw the disc as a frisbee down the bloody down the garden.
So you won't buy it, you fool! You'll be buying that. You'll be giving them.
But I'd keep the Steelbook and chuck the disc as a down the garden.
who on earth buys rubbish like that? You know, even if you're a collector and a completionist, it's something you don't want in your collection.
I could have been buying. Hang on, I could have been buying it for 50 pence from Kent's or something. You didn't say whether I was going to buy it full price or not. Did you?
Gordon Bennett.
How many things have you bought?
You would be there. I'm so. You haven't already ordered it, have you? Have you already pre-ordered it?
No.
Has there been a pre-order up for it?
No.
That's why. You bet. Soon as you see it, oh, it's a steelbook. You'll be on. You're an addict. You're an addict. I'm afraid you need help.
Every steelbook.
You need help. You need help, lad. You're an addict. Your fingers are out of control on that keyboard. Oh no, look, it's a steelbook. Oh, that's it. Ordered. You've no control.
Who's ranting now?
Even the crappiest film. Oh no. Oh. There you are. I've got to have the. Oh, I don't know. You're an addict. You need to go to.
I am an
anonymous group.
I admit
where
it.
People sit around discussing steelbooks of what crimes they've committed buying these dreadful things.
Del Steelbook Trotter is what they call me.
Oh dear. Si says AI will not be used wisely. I think we all know that.
And I said that earlier on, didn't I? I said Steve said it best, really. AI will not be used wisely. It won't be.
It's true. I'm afraid. It's human nature. I'm afraid. Yeah. We're seeing Television tomorrow night. They announced the gig on Saturday and it's sold out. Do you know when I first saw that? I thought, it's the puppet series, Television. And then, then I realised it wasn't.
Oh, Terrorhawk.
Yeah. I thought it was that, the puppet one. Oh, dear. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Steve Ball says, Ian and Delboy and everyone in the chat with a swollen face, as you can see in the picture.
Look at that face. He scared me last week.
It looks like he's just watched that Star Trek episode.
He looks like you, Ian.
No, that's me on a good day. You haven't seen me on a bad day.
I have.
And then it's looking. I also watched a kid for 2,000 for 2 farthings.
Farthings, bloody.
Sid James in it. Farthings. Yes.
You should know what 2 farthings. How much is 2 farthings, Ian?
Oh dear. No.
How much is 2 farthings?
It's an 8penny.
For God's sake, in bloody decimalisation, not bloody converting it to pounds.
It's before because farthings are before decimalisation.
Yeah, but you could still work out what it is.
Don't forget, a penny equals.
You still knew what a shilling was in decimals. So what's 2 farthings?
2 farthings is, I would say, it made an 8penny, which was
quarter of a pence.
Half p, didn't they?
I was going to say, isn't it a quarter? Isn't 2 farthings a quarter of a pence or something like that? If they ever made a quarter of a pence, it would have been that.
Yeah, they did. Decimalisation have an half thing, which was equivalent to a penny, I think. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen half a sixpence.
Yeah. With Tommy Steele.
That's better than half a penny.
Steele's in that, isn't it? It's a musical.
That's better than half a penny. That's better than half.
I don't know with half a penny. But...
No, that's the words, you daft sod. If you'd have let me finish. Half a sixpence is better than half a penny. Is better than. Oh, for God's sake.
Oh God. Oh dear. Please.
Go back to sleep.
Just go. And then we've got Stephen Ball says, I look like Sloth's love child
From the Goonies, he does.
Oh dear.
He looks like Mr. Potato Head gone wrong.
Yeah. Very wrong, I think. Yeah. So you saw Made of Stone film by Shane Meadows.
Shane Meadows.
Oh right. Hey, you guys.
That's from the Goonies. I think that's from the Goonies, isn't it? Hey, you guys.
Si says at Symbols, can you say, hey, you guys?
I think that's from the Goonies. Hey, you guys. And the other thing that Goonies famous for is that truffle shuffle, that fat boy that sort of like does a little dance.
Yeah, it's a film I rather didn't enjoy much.
Shall I tell you something? Right, I've got that film on Steelbook and I don't like it.
You would do, wouldn't you? But you might like it. Do you like it?
No, I don't. I've got it, and I don't really get on with it. But I've got it on Steelbook.
You would do, wouldn't you? Why on earth you've got it? Oh,
shut
dear.
your face! I couldn't help it. It was a Steelbook.
Yeah, of course. That's your excuse. Oh dear. It will, but I really can see you getting that Star Trek thing, and I just can see you getting it.
Will you stop it? I'm going to wait for you to bite me as a present.
Yeah. Well, in some cheapy bin it might get in.
Speaking of presents, have you watched Star Trek: The Motion Picture yet?
You asked me before we came on, so you know the answer to that.
I couldn't remember what you said.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, perhaps you're going senile as well.
Well, could be. Yeah. It's just it's been over a month. You see, we're nearly in February, and I just wondered if you got round to it yet.
I will do eventually.
You do seem to be going through a lot of Tony bloody York's shit, and and the real money that I spent, right? You don't seem to have actually even got around opening it yet.
So, the other extended version with 23 minutes extra. It is, and you said that's just in the Steelbook. It's not in the other one. Or is it
it's in the non-Steelbook one.
It's in the non-Steelbook.
Yeah, the one that says directors all over it.
Yeah, right.
That gives you a bit of a clue. The fact it's got directors written all over it. You know,
director's cut. Yeah. Okay. Right. You beat me. Oh, right. Fair enough.
You want to beat the shit out of him then?
It's his blooming sex dungeon. Are you guys? The student says, and then he's laughing. Tom says, AI sounds very scary. Could it be one step too far for humanity?
Possibly.
It could be. Who knows? Jamie says, I watched Steven Soderbergh. Is that it? Presence on Sunday. Wasn't scary, but was compelling from start to finish. Some really good choices with the camera, i.e., what's that POV from the ghost? What does POV stand for?
Eh?
What does POV stand for?
Point of view.
Ah, right. Thank you. That's what you're here for. That's what you get paid for. So, yeah, right. Otherwise, we wouldn't have you on. You know, we couldn't. You know, you've got to earn your money.
What money? Jesus Christ, man!
We can pay him in Steelbooks. Yeah, perhaps we should pay him in steel.
Yeah,
That nobody
I might be up to the spine of one steel book from you for the payments that I get.
Steel books. That's what we need. Not. James says, I heard Dell's ordered his AI sex bot for his sex dungeon. Yeah.
Where's this sex? But I still don't get where this sex dungeon's come from, though. Seriously, I don't know where. I don't know. I can understand where certain things start from, but I don't know where that's come from.
It was the Nosferatu thing. That's what they thought.
What, that picture of the Nosferatu? Yeah. It was a wood. It was set in a wood.
Well, they say it looked like a sex dungeon.
All right. I'll put it back on if you want.
Jamie, people are creating AI videos to con people out of money because the videos are so realistic. Money expert Lewis's image was fraudulently used to
does that
people.
look like?
Sorry about this thing going on. That's true what you said. Actually,
does that look like a dungeon?
Well, it could be. Yeah, it could be.
No, I'm picking his nose. Look. Where is it? There, look.
Very nice. How tasteful.
No, not blowing his nose, picking his nose.
I'm blowing me nose now. That about Martin Lewis. I've heard about that. Yeah.
I've heard of Martin Lewis.
Fraudulently being used. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me.
Why? What's happening with Martin Lewis?
It's on about, if you just read what he says about AI.
I know. I've been sort of like trying to get things back. Hang on.
Yeah. Hey, Star Trek's back. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yes. Martin Lewis is something. Yeah. He's always been representative for people that you should invest your money in. And he's forever trying to get them to court and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible, that is.
And it's only the start, isn't it? All this.
Yeah.
I've
heard there's a picture, right, of a bloke, and I don't know what it is. I think his name's Muckman, something like that. He tried to con people, right, out of their steel books, right? And he got found out apparently. Yeah. You want to be careful of him. He's not like our Muckman in our room. We're talking about another Muckman. Right. Just letting you know.
I'm sure we've had this question before, but I'll do it again.
Yes, we have.
What's your favourite carry-on film and character? We had it.
You see, we said this before. It's like the carry-on films are all, there are so many good ones. I mean, if you ask me what my favorite black and white one is, it's Carry On Cabby.
Yeah.
If you ask me what, it's almost like, what's your favorite one in the 60s that was color, your favorite one that was in the 70s that was color. You could do it a little bit like that, but I can't turn around and say, that I don't know, Carry On Henry was worse than Carry On Dick or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's bits in them that I really, really like. I can watch them over and over and over again, and I find something interesting in them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't the biggest fan of Carry On Girls and Carry On at your convenience, but on multiple watches, I've then grown to love them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But the last two don't get any better.
Oh, Emmanuel in England.
No, they don't get any better. They're just terrible.
That's Windsor. That's where sort of like Windsor Davis was in it, and you've got Suzanne Dando was it?
That Emmanuel one is perhaps the worst of the lot, isn't it? It's just.
Oh, I'll say Carry On Columbus 15 years later was worse.
I've never seen that. No intention of watching that.
Well, at least Carry On Emmanuel didn't try to pretend to be something that it wasn't, and it was supposed to take the piss out of the Emmanuel films that were very big in the
but it
mid
didn't
'70s.
seem to work even then. Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, they'd run out of ideas because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have parodied that, because
Yeah.
then what you're doing is you're parodying a parody, because Carry Ons later on were being accused of being like the confession films. You know, the confession
Of
films
course, yeah,
were
they became big then, didn't they? The
so
confession.
all that Carry On did with Emmanuel was actually accept the fact that we are actually like Confessions of a Window Cleaner and Confessions of a Pop Performer and all of that sort of stuff, which I always thought Carry Ons weren't. They were they were a little bit more upper class than that. You know what I mean? They were seaside humor. But they weren't any more than that.
Yeah.
You know, but as soon as you did Emmanuel, you basically were saying, yeah, we're Confessions of we're the Confessions films now.
Yeah.
And that means you've lost the plot. You've lost the argument.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, let's see. We've got Cy Robson says John Cusack.
Yeah, it was in Grosse Point Blank.
Yeah, that's it. Name 3 actors you would love to see in the same film. Oh.
Do you know what I was going to say then?
Go on.
William Shatner, DeForest Kelly, and Leonard Nimoy. Oh, hang on a minute. They were in the same film.
No. So 3 that we've never seen together.
Yeah, I suppose is what he means. Yeah.
Oh, crikey.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to let you run with that one.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it?
Not that haven't been. I mean, you could turn around and you go, "Oh, let me think." Sigourney Weaver, there. Let's see. Dan Aykroyd. Oh no, she was in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, loads.
You know, and you could be there forever, and I'd be going, "Oh, you know what?"
Yeah.
I'm going to have to come back to you on that one, Jim Jam. I'll probably say it in my blog.
Yeah, you see, I always start and then think of the obvious ones are my favorite actors, and I'd say, I always start with thinking of Peter Cushing, but he was in with my other favorite actors, so I'm trying to think.
Yeah, let's see. We'll have Peter Cushing with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I was trying to think of another horror. I was thinking of another horror then. And Chucky, you know. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Next.
Okay, he said next. Oh dear. Sorry, there we are. That's the answer. Next. That's a shop, isn't it? Jim Jam movies and TV. Mine is Fiddler, £1. How much for the tent? £1. Yeah, I love that as well. Yeah, that's great.
No! You get free washing lines for £1.
It's brilliant in that.
Well, he actually said this, didn't he? He went pound. Right. 3 tents for £1.
Yeah, everything's £1. Yeah, the membership was £1.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I've seen some of these AI copies of real people. If you concentrate, they don't look quite right somehow, but I can see how people are fooled by them. But eventually, I agree. I've seen that, and you just know there's just something about them. But surely, that will come a time when you won't be able to tell any difference.
Well,
People will be
there's
looking.
that famous one in Rogue One, isn't there, with your favourite Peter Cushing?
Oh yes, yeah. They did that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where I think AI got people talking.
yeah.
With that film,
I know
Rogue
what
One.
he means. That you do see these pictures, and you can just tell there's something not just something. It's there, but if they get rid of that, you won't be able to tell the difference.
I've always said it's usually found in the eyes. If you look closely
Yeah.
at the eyes, if you can freeze it and look at the eyes, you'll see
Yeah.
that there's something like I don't know whether it's because they've tried to put too much mirror in the reflection of the eyes or whatever it is, but you can
Yeah.
sort of like see it's like a doll.
Yeah.
It's like you've got buttons for eyes in your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Same sort of deal. You watch Captain Scarlet's puppetry. You look at the eyes and you just go, that's the biggest giveaway.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The eyes. Anyway.
And oh yeah, and the women, they often make bust. The women seem bustier, don't they? They look sort of big around the breast area.
I think the problem with anatomy is but the 60s was all
Smooth
about
it out almost.
The 60s though were all about having sort of like wired bras, so they were cumbersome. Apparently, I don't know. You'd know more than me. You probably tried to undo quite a few back in the 60s. I wasn't around. You know what I mean? I just know that that's what people told me. They said in the 60s they were all wired.
Yeah.
They cut into your rib cage, my mum said.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell, she said. You came away with marks.
Yeah. Women have had a lot to do in painful fashions, haven't they? You know.
Oh yeah.
All through history.
I do agree. When it comes to women and fashion, they've had the worst.
They have, yeah. I mean, even the shoes, walking on those high heels, you know, it's so difficult. You see them, and it's an accident waiting to happen, isn't it? Those high heels. Oh dear. I couldn't get anyone to come see True Romance with me at the cinema back in the day, because they all thought it was a rom-com.
I just read that. I was just going, oh, that's a shame. And then I read the end and it went, yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Jesus. Christopher, oh my God. You furthest away from a rom-com you could possibly get.
Yeah. Some people would have had a bit of a shock, wouldn't they, that went along thinking it was a rom-com.
Yeah. That's Tony Scott, isn't it?
Yeah. Here we are. Have you seen all of Shane Meadows' films?
No, but I've been through a few wheat fields.
What can't answer that?
I've been over a few hills and vales.
Oh no, yeah. Oh dear. Oh no.
He said Meadows.
Meadows. Did you make those? No, he made those.
Oh, for God's sake. That's worse than mine. That's worse than mine.
Right.
I haven't, no.
Stephen Wilson, start worrying. If Ian and Delboy don't rant next week, they might have been taken over by AI. Oh, right. Yes.
Who want to make an AI of me? Jesus Christ! I can tell you where you can spend your money. You can send it to me. I don't mind.
You spend it on him.
You could send it to Tony York, who will upgrade his collection to Blu-ray and send the bloody rest of the shit to Ian. You could fund Muckman Movie's next Steelbook collection. You could, I don't know. I got all sorts of things that you could do. You know, where you want to spend your money.
Oh, oh dear. Carry on. Mr. Muggins, Charles Hartree, always makes me laugh from Carry On Camping. Oh yes. Carry On Camping is just
What was that woman's name that was in that? The one that was Tony Scott's wife. She used to laugh and go, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh, what was her name? Somebody will know. I can't
She
remember.
was a famous actress, but I can't remember what.
Yeah. Oh, who was it? I can't think. I should know her name.
Anyway, don't worry. I was just wondering because I couldn't think of the
yeah,
name.
I know. Yeah, she was a famous actress.
That laugh she had was terrible, wasn't it? That laugh, you know, when she goes.
And Stephen Moore says, I've been watching the spin-off of the Bill Burnside. Someone on YouTube uploads all the episodes. Oh, right.
See, some people have got too much time on their hands.
I didn't know. So Bill has had some spin-offs. That was the Bill spin-off, Burnside. All right. Tony says, favorite historical carry-on, Up the Khyber. Contemporary set and would be Convenience. So he likes Carry On. Up
the Khyber is quite good, but I did like Carry On Henry. I really did like Carry On Henry, probably because I like Tudor stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like. So it's nice to see sort of like all about all the wives and chasing after. You know, I did like all that, and then of course he sort of like counts the French king as Marjorie or something like that, you know. Of course, gives them women's names or something, you know. It's like, oh, it's Marjorie. Hello, Marge. How are you? You know, like this. I always thought that was quite funny.
Yeah.
You know, when you consider what France and England were like.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Up the Khyber's fine, though. I tell you what, it's very well done when you consider there's that gate, isn't there, at the Khyber Pass?
Yeah,
it's a lane in Wales.
Yeah.
In fact, if you turn round the corner of that hill, it's where they put the TARDIS, and they've got the Yeti round the corner there.
Oh yes, the Yeti. Yeah.
Quite famous filming around there. Apparently.
Jamie says Delboy's Big Toe should be a new name for your YouTube channel, Del.
Delboy's Big Toe?
Yeah. There you are.
Can we have Delboy's Big Dick?
No.
I don't know. The Big Toe?
Big Toe. There you are. I remember seeing.
I'll consider it. Anyway.
When first broadcast, Christopher Ellison was a good rogue cop. All right, I still never followed it. There's quite a few spin-offs, isn't there, of all these cop shows?
Yeah, there's been
loads of them. ITV done loads, haven't they? Did you see Sigourney Weaver was upstaged by the oil protesters this week? Yeah, I saw a picture of that.
I saw a picture of it.
Yeah. I felt really sorry for her, really. You know, all these idiots going on stage. Yeah. Let's hope that they're not listening. Oh, no, yeah. But yeah. what can you say? Ridiculous. Ian, don't forget to publicise Del channel before it gets late. Well, thank you so much, Tony. I'm just looking. We've got 10 viewers in, so this has to be a good time to publicise his channel.
Just a minute. If you'd have read that out when he said, there'd have been 18 people watching.
Now it's gone down. It's just gone down once.
Now you read it out when there's bloody 6 again or something, right?
And I better get it in quickly before it goes down even anymore. So if you're new here, if you've just come in and thought, what's going on? I'm enjoying all this. Well, go and have a look at Delboy.
What's wrong with you if you think that?
It's there in the link. I've put it. Yeah, so go across, subscribe to his channel, and enjoy what a wonderful channel he's got. He's got this wonderful blog he does every Sunday. It comes out, and honestly, it's one of the best blogs you're ever likely to listen to. It really is good, and I mean that really. And then he has also, when he can be bothered to do some more film reviews, but he does a lot of gaming. Gaming is real. If you're into gaming, he's a man. He knows all about his games and stuff, and he does all stuff on games. But I keep telling him, do more film reviews, but doesn't he?
I know.
He doesn't listen to me. I tell him every week.
No. Let me answer that. I've actually been suffering from sleep deprivation, which has actually been causing me quite a problem, actually. But I will give you. I will just give you. We like to keep things fresh on this channel. This is what I like coming on and speaking to Ian. Just to give you a little secret, right? Nobody knows this, but Ian in the 70s was the Phantom Flanflinger. Did you know that? He was the Phantom Flanflinger on Tiswas. Just giving you a little bit of an insight now on where we're coming from, right? On this channel.
Oh dear. So if you're interested, please go and subscribe to his channel. I'm sure you're suitably impressed now by what you've just heard. The wit and wisdom of Delboy. Go and get more of it on his channel, please. Seriously, it is a great channel. Brilliant. Enjoy it. If you're new, go and see. You'll love it. And I put the link in the description, so go over there and have a look. And
it'd be really nice actually, because to be quite honest, I've lost 4 this week.
Oh no! Oh god! So yeah, please, if you are new, go and subscribe. He keeps losing subscribers. We don't want that. We want more. Seymour says, Tony, Tony, good series, but didn't last long.
Yeah, Burnside.
Oh, Burnside. I think. Joe says, yeah, Ian, get the publicity of Del's channel when we peak at 12 viewers.
Yeah, too late. It went even further down.
We're 10 at the moment. It's not too bad, but those 2 could be vital.
It was bloody 16 earlier, and he could have done it.
I never saw that. I wonder what scared him away. No. Oh, dear.
I think it was all this talk of sex dungeons and shit.
Sex dungeons, yeah. Delboy Big Toe, a day in the life of a man and his best friend. Yeah. Oh dear.
Delboy and Fungus the Toe Boy.
Peak is laughing out there. Peak, yeah. At Stephen, they're laughing again. Yes.
You're all saddos.
My movie's laughing again, yeah. Okay, don't do the publicity until we hit 20 viewers. That means we won't get any publicity.
That's never.
And we'd be lucky to get 20 viewers.
I'm gonna hand over. I must admit though, I'm gonna hand over the reins to Ian just for a minute because I want to check on my mother. She goes to bed at this time, so just
okay. Yeah, but anybody, please, if you haven't subscribed to him, please subscribe. Great channel. Yes, there it is.
I won't be a minute, guys.
Yeah, it won't be a minute. Right. Okay. All right. we have got Jim Jam movie saying, right, I'm off to go watch more Wycliffe. Well, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. You're probably watching it now, or you may have come back, but yeah, enjoy your Wycliffe. And then Jamie says, I've watched Presence, Brotherhood of the Wolf, Howl, Smile, and Time Crimes this week. Oh, you mentioned Time Crimes. Wow. I just love Time Crimes. Oh, I hope you enjoyed Time Crimes. Perhaps you won't feel the same as I do about it, but I just loved it. Smile, great. Howl, I don't think I've seen that. I know it's a werewolf film, isn't it? And Brotherhood of the Wolf, I've not seen that, and that's supposed to be good. Yeah. Presence. I don't think I've seen Presence. And that's quite a new one, isn't it? Presence. I've not seen that one. Yeah. Smile, I enjoyed. And I think I agree with the people that Smile 2 is perhaps better than that first Smile. Time Crimes, what a film. Oh, absolutely fantastic film. Absolutely love it. Spanish film it is. It's great. Never got into Laserdisc. Think they must have been too expensive. Yeah, I think they were. Yeah, I don't know. The machines would have been quite expensive, and the discs at the time. But obviously they were better quality for what they were. They were certainly an upgrade from VHS. A big upgrade, I would say. So DVD, once that came along, it effectively, that was the end, I suppose, of Laserdiscs, really taking off. But there's still people who do collect them, I think, still around. You can see them, and some people have them, and I think enjoy them. I think they enjoy it. It's like to do with the record, the size of it and everything. But DVD would have won, and you don't have to. Well, initially you didn't on some DVDs. There were flippers that you turned over, but with these you have to turn them over, don't you? And there's all that stuff. Right. Tony says, I got the 4K of Brotherhood of the Wolf a while ago. Must get around to seeing it. I only seen bits on TV. Oh well. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It seems interesting, anyhow, what I've seen of it. And then Jamie says, I particularly like Smile. Very similar to one of my favorite horrors. It follows, of course, in terms of tone and creepiness. That's a good point. Yeah, I think it does have that vibe, very much so. I do like Smile a lot, but Smile 2 I just thought it just took it even further for me in a better way, I think. But Smile is still a quality film. And it's reminded me that I must get my copy of Smile 2 because it's out now, isn't it? But I saw it on a download. I really enjoyed it. In fact, I must get that.
Hang on, I'm back.
And he's back. He says he thinks he's
I
back.
heard the word Laserdisc and had to come back.
Oh God, those ears were twitching. Yeah. Now we're on that Smile.
Hang on a minute, just so you know, right? DVD digital, right, and Laserdisc sort of was analog, right? It was better than VHS. The players were expensive, but they were karaoke machines and CD players at the same time, and you could play video CDs on them. So there was a lot of firsts with Laserdisc. It's a technology from the 70s. So it actually it had a resurgence in the 90s, but it was the 70s where actually you could get it, where it was first advertised. I think there was a big article, if I remember rightly, and it's famous. It was in Playboy magazine. In fact, all of the expensive watches and expensive players and everything was in Playboy. Apparently, when in the early days, I don't know. I haven't.
Yeah. Not that you know. No.
But you did you could get dual-sided players, so you didn't have to turn the disc over. But the trouble is, there was two formats. There was CLV and CAV, and one was sort of like an extended play. So you could actually record an hour's worth of video on one side, which meant that if you bought a disc that was one disc, you could actually watch the whole film without turning it over.
Yeah.
But most films came on two discs, so you had to change it over anyway. But it really was a connoisseur's type of thing. If you just bought yourself a widescreen TV and amps were suddenly starting to become a big thing, it was the closest you could get probably to other than having a projector in your home. Do you know what I mean? It was that sort of technology. I bought it. I got well invested in it. And I remember one of the first things I ever bought was Alien and Aliens, and it came on, and the Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
When those came out, I mean, my Star Wars trilogy cost me 170 odd pounds. It was probably the most expensive thing I'd ever bought.
Yeah. Wow.
Alien alone was 110 quid.
Ooh.
But the things that you could do with it, you could do with DVD now. You could actually put the whole script on a disc on the disc, and you could actually skip. You could actually sort of step through the frames and read the script. You could separate the audio, so you had director's commentary on one side of the audio, and on the other side you had the film music. You know, you could actually separate the score up, so you could have the music without actually having to buy the CD. You know, I mean, it was there was a lot of firsts with Laserdisc.
Yeah,
I look back at those days and I do go, do you know what? They were great days.
Yeah.
And when it comes to expense, when you consider that on the gaming side of things, cartridges were 50 quid. You bought Street Fighters 2, it was 49.99. You could buy a film for 25 quid, right? It was 2 to 3 times more expensive than a VHS tape.
Yeah.
But you got a hell of a lot more.
Of course, yeah.
You know, like I said, with certain stuff, I mean, it had all sorts of stuff on there. The trailers, the TV spots, documentaries, the audio split, director's commentary, the script. I mean, it had a ton of features, you know, that was on there. So, and of course, like I say, they were karaoke players as well. So, I mean, basically, you bought yourself, you could actually have your own business because you could take your Laserdisc player into a pub and you could actually have a karaoke night. You know what I mean? I mean, it was a lot of things that you could do with it. I will say that. DVD is far superior, but you got to remember that's 25 years after Laserdisc actually ever came out. You know what I mean? When you consider the amount of years that went by.
I think as well that maybe some of the early DVD releases did try to copy the extras like the laser discs.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I remember some DVDs you could get like common sort of in picture commentaries in. You could be watching the thing and you could put the director say. You could actually see him talking about it.
PIP was part of it,
But that seemed to, they don't do that anymore much.
Oh, yeah. I mean, early DVD. If you remember rightly, on early DVDs, there was a button on your player that said multi-angle.
Yes.
And you could, and basically, you could have. Yeah. You could see somebody talking at you, and then on another angle, you see him from the side view.
Yes, that's right. Weird. All that disappeared, didn't it? I think.
Oh yeah,
they obviously weren't popular, but
you will tend to find, and I really hold this true. You will tend to find that the least better quality product won over. So Betamax was better than VHS.
Yeah,
DVD was better than Laserdisc.
Yeah,
etc. etc. If you look down the line, you'll tend to find it's the cheaper of the products that won over.
Yeah.
VHS was cheaper to produce, cheaper to make.
Yeah.
It broke down more often, but it destroyed Betamax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think you said as well last week, and I read the same thing as well about the porn industry, that they had a big say in it, and they were all VHS, weren't they? So that immediately put them into contention. They had a big influence on the market.
I think actually there weren't many things that were multi-angle, but somebody did tell me that porn used multi-angle.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
And I'm going, really? I didn't know this. And the amount of things that you learn, the porn industry really do try and sell anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Flesh Gordon and all of this sort of stuff. You know what I mean? They really do push the envelope with certain stuff, don't they? I mean, my God. VR, I think now.
I think what happened with DVDs as they got into more mass market, they probably thought, well, it's not worth putting all these features on. People just want to watch the film. They didn't realize that there was the collector's market, I suppose, and that has come afterwards, which is then linked with that people want to know a bit more about the film. Therefore, you want the documentaries. But of course, if you're doing documentaries, new ones, that costs money to make them, and they've got to organize them. So
I read this as well about the porn industry. Apparently, when the first 3D film came out on DVD, porn had a film out within a week.
Oh, right. You can imagine they'd be rubbing their hands or something else.
They were rubbing something. I don't know about their hands.
Yeah.
I don't know about their hands. I don't know about their hands here, but they were rubbing something. But I just when somebody told me that, and I said, "Do these glasses for 3D? Did they have windscreen wipers on them?" Right. For all the dirty, sordid people that basically needed to clean their glasses.
Oh dear.
But the other thing, by the way, McMahon, is I've got 2 copies, by the way, of Smile 2 Steelbook. One was sent to me by mistake. If you'd like it, I will send it to you.
There you are.
I'm quite happy to send you my copy of Smile 2. If you'd like me to send it to you, copy me in Discord, and I will send that to you.
There you are, Jamie. Take him up on his offer. Yeah.
Then all he's got to do is get Smile.
Yeah.
Happy to help out a fellow Steelbook collector.
Good. That's nice. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, just contact me and I'll send it in the post.
You know, Jamie, I enjoyed rewatching Brotherhood of the Wolf, although the CGI has dated quite badly of the wolf. Oh, has it? Oh dear. Stephen Moore said, I watched a good film last night starring Keanu Reeves called Exposed. A good thriller.
Yeah.
Right. Tony says, apparently it's based on real events in 18th century France. I think that's that wolf one, isn't it?
Oh, that's got your interest now.
Yeah, suddenly, yeah, I know it has. Yeah. Pre-revolution, probably France. Interesting.
What's that? What's the palace called in France?
Versailles.
Yeah, that was a good TV show. Did you watch that on the BBC?
Oh, I think I did. That was a long time ago.
I really like that show.
It was beautifully done. Oh yeah.
Oh, the gardens there are gorgeous, aren't they?
It was an absolute delight to watch. Yes, I did watch that. It was beautiful.
Those gardens over there. I mean, are they always like that? I mean, they're gorgeous.
I mean, the thing is, the Versailles is well worth reading up on about what went on at Versailles. How it was a way of him controlling the nobility, really.
Yeah, they had parties and everything.
Very clever was Versailles. That he kept them all competing against each other and did all the stuff that were involved in Versailles. Where, of course, the problem was he ignored what was going on in France. what was going on, the poverty, and how he was looking more despotic as a ruler, as a king, and it's fascinating. Well worth looking in the pre-revolution era, just before the French Revolution, what leads to it.
Yeah,
it's absolutely fascinating. Well worth looking at. Right. And then James says there's an action sequence in Brotherhood which pays homage to Predator. Even the music sounds similar as they try to capture the wolf. This sounds more of a very interesting film.
I mean, it's iconic, the music, isn't it? Because it's that it's all drums, isn't it? It's
that sounds really good. Wolf, I was referring to. Tony says, yeah. What was it? Thumbs up. Monica Belushi is damn fine in Brotherhood of the Wolf. Oh, right. Gets it more interesting. And Jenny Hanley and Mick Robinson with the hair. Yes, the hair. I remember the hair. And the Clangers.
Oh, the Soup Dragon, yeah.
Oh, I like the Clangers. Yeah, and the Soup Dragon.
Yeah, well, you would.
Yeah, Soup Dragon. There we are. Soup Dragon. Yeah, actually, I've got it on DVD. The full series of the Clangers.
You sad bastard.
I bet you've got it.
Did Tony send it you?
No, he didn't. It's something I've had a long time. I've had it a long time. But I bet you've got it. You sit there taking the piss out of all these things, and then you have it in your collection.
Denny has got it. Yeah. I haven't got that.
You aren't. Well, it's shock horror. Love it. Right.
I've got things like Children of the Stone and Into the Labyrinth and things like that.
You ain't got. I'm surprised you ain't got the Clangers.
No, I haven't got Bagpuss.
No, I haven't actually. I thought.
Oh, they filmed it. They filmed it in your bloody living room, Bagpuss.
Oh, dear.
Told you.
Oh dear.
I told you, Professor Yaffle. He's in your bloody shelves up there. And that stupid frog, and that Madeline the doll, or whatever it is. I bet they're all around in your house.
Oh dear.
I told you your middle name's Emily.
Oh no. Today I watched Wind River and The Snowman, 2 good films. Oh, The Snowman is fantastic. Absolutely brilliant.
I'll tell you an old film. He's just mentioned one there. Look, Wind River. I saw a Mel Gibson film with Sissy Spacek called The River.
Oh, right, yeah.
That was a good film. That had a John Williams score. Doesn't sound like a John Williams score. Great score, by the way.
Yeah.
That's an interesting film. I like that. The River.
Yeah. Steve's Gaming. Dell. Southern Television also did The Famous Five and Take a Letter, Mr. Jones. So that's nothing to brag about. Unlike Yorkshire TV, who did tons of classics. Ha ha ha. What can I say? It's right.
Bollocks.
He's trying to say that.
I think they did things like Stig of the Dump.
Yeah.
The story of Adrian Mole, age 13 and 3/4 or something like that.
Oh no. Charles Duncan says Susan Stanks, not Stanks, was the one who was braless on Magpie Ian. Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, Pity Sally James wasn't braless, wasn't
it? Jenny Hanley was in The Flesh and Blood Show, which I recently watched. A Peter Walker horror. There's a lot of pervy stuff in those Peter Walker films.
Yeah, there is.
Surprise me.
I've only seen I think 2 Peter Walker films. I think.
Which ones have you seen?
I'm just trying to think.
I've seen The House of Whipcord. That's one of them.
Yes, I've seen that.
That's your dungeon one, your sex dungeon thing, nearly.
No, it don't start all that up again. Jesus, people are
Your
just starting
Mr.
to forget
Sex
that.
Dungeon. And Charles says Mickey Dolenz did Metal Mickey. Oh,
yeah, I've
I've
corrected
seen that.
myself. He was quite. No, it's just that I always thought that Mickey Dolenz, after he left the Monkeys, he came over here, met a few producers. I thought he was an executive producer on the double deckers.
Yeah.
And later on, he did Metal Mickey, where he created it and pitched it to ITV.
Yeah.
But no, I was wrong. I always knew Mickey Dolenz though did Metal Mickey. Yeah. So Charles was well up on that. Yeah.
Jamie says Wind River is decent. I've not heard good things about the Snowman. It must be a different Snowman because the other Snowman, the Raymond Briggs one, everybody loves that. It's one.
Oh, and then there's the Snow Dog. There's the Snow Dog in there or something.
But I'm sure. Are you sure this is the same? It might be a different film.
He's talking about a different film.
It must be because the Raymond Briggs one is such a classic. It's I can't imagine.
But it's so classic. It's so classic that in Scotland they made an advert all around Iron Brew and the Snowman.
Oh, well, there you are. Tony says, I rewatched the Fu Manchu Vengeance of. Good fun, but can't beat Face Off, in my opinion. Yeah, I love the Fu Manchu.
You're not going to see Fu Manchu films these days, are you?
Yeah. I've got a box set. I've got the box set of it. Absolutely love them. I had to get that. It's one of the few box sets I actually bought. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. But you're right. Nowadays, oh dear, we're in a spot of bother. James says Wind River is good, but Hell or High Water is my favorite Taylor Sheridan written film. All right, yeah. Now Sicario is a great Taylor Sheridan.
I've heard of Sicario. I can't pronounce that.
Sicario.
I can't. I mean, I've heard of that one.
Yeah. I've heard of this one. No Country for Old Men is a good film.
Yeah, but that won Oscar, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah. James says,
what did you think? What did you think of the Oscar nominations this year?
I'll be honest. I don't bother that much about the Oscars. What is up? What has gone for the? What is up? Has the Substance got in there? Have we got the Substance?
There's a few nominations for the Substance. I think most of it is that Pope one. That one that you like.
Which one?
Conclave, is it?
Or Conclave. Oh yeah, that should win.
That's got a lot of.
Conclave deserves it.
I think the biggest controversy in the Oscars this year is that you've got a transgender in the Best Actress category. That raised a few eyebrows. That's
right. Yeah. Oh dear.
And I think Through the Lens, Josh, I think definitely thought the Oscar nominations was a good set this year. I think that's the
Conclave. Oh, I hope that would be nice if that won. Yeah. Though again, I know Oscars are seen as important, but I don't know whether they are always. I
tell you what, the only reason I watched the Oscars for the last 10 years is for the in memorandum, really.
Yeah.
The people that we've lost. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it is a long-winded, boring
4 hours or something.
It needs something to, it needs a Marlon Brando to not turn up, or somebody to hit somebody, or It needs something to liven it up because it is
Yeah.
pretty boring, really. And it's always the
It's
same
stuffy.
film.
It's stuffy.
Yeah, and if it tries to be all with it, it doesn't look with it. It looks without it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No Country for Old Men is a good film, definitely. Bloody great. I love the downbeat ending, but lots of people hated it.
Yeah.
And Seymour says, Tony Hawk, I have all 5 Fu Manchu films on Blu-ray, Tony. Another good film starring Christopher Lee. Terror of the Tongues. Yeah, I've got that as well. That's on Indicator.
I thought that was a hairdressing film.
Oh, dear. Actually, that's not a bad one. It's for hairdressers.
That's Terror of the Tongues, isn't it?
Yeah. But hairdressing don't worry me too much.
You're too right there. Look,
There's nothing much to worry about there. Javier Bardem is so sinister and unnerving in that movie. Oh, right. That sounds good. At Muckman Movies, yeah, one scary dude. And Tony says, Stephen, I missed out on the Indicator box set, but got the individual releases and the book from their site. Terror of Tongues is good, like some practice for Christopher Lee to do Fu Manchu. That's a good point. Yeah, it is. It's almost like him practicing the role. Yeah. It's interesting because those Fu Manchu movies, I remember them being shown on BBC One quite a bit. I used to love watching them. But now, of course, there's no way they'd be ever shown. Such a shame. Charles says the famous 5 and nobody can remember their names. How famous is that? Maybe. Actually, it's probably a good. I'm trying to think of the names.
There was Anne, Timmy, the dog.
Oh yeah, say they remember the dog.
There was a song, wasn't it? We Are the Famous 5. Julia, Dick, and Anne, George, and Timmy. Is that it?
Oh, right. There you are.
No, I tell you what, it's the Secret 7 you're going to have a frigging problem with, because I tell you what, I can't name one.
Yeah.
They were that secret. I can't remember. I can't think of one name for the Secret 7.
Yeah.
At least I can have a go with the famous 5. Do you know what I mean?
Actually, those kids were annoying, weren't they? You know, such clever.
Of course they are.
Having them around. I'm surprised the police force put up with them. I bloody put them in jail and say, "Stop blooming doing it, trying to do our job. We don't want you. Get in that jail."
Can't you kids go inside and watch the Railway Children, you bastards?
Yeah, do something. But don't go around being clever dicks trying to solve crimes and making the police
why don't you go sit on your television set and go do something less boring instead? I'd have said something like that. Which is a famous phrase from Why Don't You?
Be so bloody posh. Why are they posh as well? They're all bloody posh kids. I say ginger beer.
Yeah, you're not gonna have any salmon sandwiches if you carry on like that.
Oh, ginger beer! It's vile. I don't like ginger beer. It's horrible.
Ginger beer, Jesus Christ!
Oh, Christ!
Only they called it pop, didn't they? Pop. We'll have some pop, shall we?
Oh no! You'll pop off. Oh, please.
Yeah. Everybody else was having our White's lemonade. They were having pop. Oh, we're having pop, are we?
Posh.
Let's have some sherbet lemons. Everybody else is having cola cubes. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Sherbet dabs.
Delboy's big toe day one. Delboy gives his toe a drink, dips his toe in a bowl of water.
I still don't get it. I don't know what the hell that's about. It's funny though. I just don't get what it's all about.
And Terror of the Tongues is so racist too. Will never get made today. Yeah, but it's good film. It may be, it's still I know, to use the phrase, it's of its time, but it's still a good film. It's still enjoyable. Yeah. Tongues a bit slow perhaps, but overall I enjoy it. It's very much of its time. He keeps saying it as well. Europeans portraying Asian people. Yeah, it was. That happened. That's how it was. What else?
It ain't our fault. Comes to mind.
And when Burt Walk wasn't available, what else could you do?
Yeah.
He was the only actor that could portray. Pokemon movies, I liked it, but it was a bit slow compared to the Fu Manchu movies. But weren't the Fu Manchu movies great? Oh, fantastic. I just loved them. Yeah, and we could see them on the television. People don't have that nowadays. They can't see these.
Didn't Peter Lorre play a number of sort of like Asian people in films?
He did. He played a detective. Oh, I bet. I wonder if Tony would know that. I bet he does. I'm sure
he's probably sent the bloody lot to you.
You're right, though. Peter Lorre did. I can't think. He did play a detective, and it was. They wouldn't dare show them now.
Yeah, they won't show those anymore. Will they? That's half his film wiped off the bloody.
I think he had these. I think he wore these glasses as well. These sort of thick rimmed.
Yeah, thick glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I forgot what they're called, but yeah, I bet Tony, if you know, just let us know.
Of course, he bloody knows. He's got Google, the bastard.
Steve Moore says, "I watched Smile 2. Don't know why they put Jack Nicholson's son on the front of the steelbook. No, he's in it for about 4 minutes. Oh, 4 minutes worth. Well, we know because he's Jack Nicholson's son. That's why they put him on there.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. Well, they put the girl on the cover of the first film. She was only in it for a few minutes. Way after.
Well, there's the similarity then.
Yeah. Listen to this. And Jenny was topless in the Hammer movies, Scars of Dracula, I think.
Yeah.
Funny how you remember that one, isn't it? Jenny Hanley. James says, I'd have a Blu-ray of the concert I went to a few years back at Hyde Park, London. Continued earlier. Black Sabbath, Soundgarden, Faith No More, Motorhead, Soulfly. Oh, right. Interesting concert, yeah. Motorhead as well. See Motorhead. Yeah. Excellent. Dell, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is £50. Avowed is £60. Why are games so damn expensive now?
Yeah, we were having a chat. Steve is a really nice guy, right? He's had some bad luck, and I had a number of laptops kicking about. Because I used to be an IT manager, and it was my pleasure to send a laptop to him. And he says, "Oh, I want to send you the postage back and all of this sort of stuff." And I'm going, I'm not really that bothered about it. But he insists, and I said, "Look, there's bound sure to be a game on Steam that you'll be able to buy me. But you don't need to send me the money now. Keep your money for a bit, and all this sort of stuff." So I told him there's 2 titles that I might buy in the next couple of weeks. One's called Kingdom Come Deliverance. The other one's called Avowed. He's just looked and he's found that they're 50 quid and 60 quid, and he's asking the question, why are they so damn expensive now? He's quite true. And there's a very big thing about it in the fact that if you buy a FIFA game these days, one of these football games, right? They cost you 60 quid. But when you buy all the content for it, you know, like because they do what they call downloadable content. It's called DLC, right? It'll cost you close to £100.
Sorry, I must just go to.
Yeah, sorry, you nearly fell asleep, did you? Anyway, I was just going to say that when you want to buy a game these days, it's closer to £100 because of the extra stuff that they don't give you with it. So that's what that little thing from Steve is, and it's my pleasure to to send him a laptop. I mean, I had quite a few of them kicking about, I'd rather them go than chuck them out in the bin or take them to bits and take the hard drives out of them and all of that sort of stuff. So it was just my pleasure. Where's that bastard gone? What's he done? Going to the toilet? Left it. I can't read out, by the way, any of the comments because he's got the controls. Just so you know. So I don't know quite what else to talk about. I will say this: it's my pleasure to help Muckman Movies, who, by the way, has helped me out no end this year with last year with films I haven't heard about. It was weird how I got Smile 2 through the post, and a week later another copy turned up. Same company that sent it. And then I checked a week later after that, and they haven't charged me. I don't know how often that happens to other people. It's happened to me a couple of times. Every time that's ever happened to me, I've always given it away to somebody, usually Denny or Ian. I've sent a few to Ian. But yeah, happy to help my friend Muckman out. Yeah, what'd you bugger off for?
Yeah, not long. I'm back.
You could have warned me.
Anyhow, carry on. It's all right.
That's it. I ran out about 5 minutes ago.
Oh, all right.
I'm finished the moment you just put my ugly mug on the bloody. Jesus, man. Oh, give me some communication warning.
Yeah, I just thought I'd say you were so right. Jamie says, I saw David Bowie at Glastonbury. Would love to own that on Blu-ray. Oh, brilliant. I wish I never saw Bowie. I wish I had it done. I really wish that's one of my biggest regret.
Don't they actually do a Glastonbury year like Blu-ray disc out? Don't they do that every year? Don't they produce a Glastonbury disc?
Actually, now you come to think of it, I have got that on one of Bowie albums. They did release on DVD and the soundtrack. Yeah. I'm trying to think which it is, but I've definitely got that. Yeah, I've got.
I thought Glastonbury always brought out a disc every year when they.
No, as far as I know, not every year. There are some Glastonbury discs.
Oh, okay. I was wrong.
But that is on some Bowie album. That yeah, I definitely got that. Yeah, and it has been. There is a version of it. Yeah, I could probably go and have a look, but I won't do because Delboy.
Oh yeah, bugger off again. Leave me.
Go and have a look and Bowie collection, but yeah, there has been one of him. Yeah, one away from Delboy's publicity stunt. Oh, I like the Verve and Kasabian. Oh,
I like those two. Yeah, I like the Verve. I like Kasabian.
Yeah, Kasabian. They're from Leicester as well, which is not far off from where I live. Yeah,
that's far enough south not to make them north.
I know. I'm a Yorkshireman in exile in East Midlands.
I'm an adopted northerner, by the way. I lived in Manchester for 7-8 years.
I know you did. You said, yeah, I know, but of course. Manchester to a Yorkshireman means one thing. It's a blooming Lancastrian thing. You should know about the War of the Roses, lad.
Oh, bloody
Oh,
hell.
dear. We don't mention Lancashire. Tony says, Mars couldn't have been a more polar opposite to Regan in terms of character and accent. Very true, yeah. You definitely. I just couldn't get over that accent, with Morse. But anyhow. Ram, oh God, that's my son. Rama 320 Hill. What is your opinion on The Grinch? It's my girlfriend's favorite movie. Ah, right.
Well, hasn't he ever asked you or something?
Sorry?
If it's your son, hasn't he ever asked you, like, face to face? Why is he doing it over the internet?
He's never asked about The Grinch.
He's in the room next door, the daft bastard. Why did you just come in and say, hey, excuse me, Dad, what do you think of The Grinch?
Honestly, he's never talked about The Grinch before, honestly, to me. So it's all new to me.
He has to pop his head round the corner and say, excuse me, Dad, what do you think of The Grinch? What's all this nonsense?
Yeah, there you are, you see. Oh, dear. It's his girlfriend's favourite movie. But
I know that. It says it there, you daft son. I can read it. The whole world can read it, look. It says it there.
Oh, dear.
Go on, then. What's your opinion of The Grinch, then? Come on.
Well, Jim Carrey is excellent. I love Jim Carrey. I think he's fantastic. I wish we could have more Jim Carrey. I wish Jim Carrey would do more. I know he has come back in Sonic films, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Yeah.
I'd love to see more Jim Carrey. And
just thought I'd say that just so everyone knows I have a girlfriend, and that's the only reason I said it.
Is it? Okay.
You sado! We don't believe you. We don't believe you. We don't. Just because you write it down doesn't make it true. Did you know that my girlfriend is Claudia Schiffer? Nobody believes it.
Oh, well, what can I say? There you are. That's.
I thought he was going to say something like, "Did you know that my dad was the Grinch?"
Yeah.
He definitely was 10 years ago because I asked him for a $5 and he told me to sod off.
And then it turned into Scrooge.
Yeah. I will say this, yeah. I think it's a very colourful film. I think it was perfectly played by him. You could definitely tell that I think he was a fan of the books and the cartoon. It's miles above The Cat in the Hat, which I thought was awful.
Yeah.
But it's still not really my type of. I'd rather watch A Nightmare Before Christmas than The Grinch.
Yeah.
Probably because I think there's a lot more imagination in A Nightmare Before Christmas, and I think it's more a homage to Ray Harryhausen, stop motion photography and all of this sort of stuff. It's more up my street. But I'll tell you what, it's a very colourful film. I think kids love it. It's played over and over again. I think mothers must love The Grinch because all you have to do is set your six-year-old in front of the telly with that, and they'll put it on repeat. You know what I mean? It's like that. I'm so glad your girlfriend likes it. I think she's a bit strange. What does she like? She likes green hairy men. Is that what you're trying to tell us? That your girlfriend likes green hairy men? Do you have to dye your hair green to go out dancing with her or something? Does she like green beer? Mean drinks.
She don't obviously like sex dungeons though.
No, she don't like sex dungeons. No. She might get a bit jealous around my house. Or
sex, yeah. Jamie says Kasabian were brilliant live. I don't think they're as good without Tom McGann. All right.
Yeah. I remember Kasabian, during that Britpop era, and
yeah.
I did like their music.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to tell you the names of the people in the band. I was never into music in the 90s and the 2000s where I could actually name the band members. I used to like it in the early days when I was listening to something like T-Rex and I was listening to The Sweet. I used to know what the band names were. You know what I mean? As I got older, it became less important. I don't know why. It just was. It was that, really.
Well, I'm all classic. They're classics. Led Zeppelin, Free,
Hang on a minute. You said you're all classic. You know full well you were listening to Beethoven and Bach and that. That's your classic. You're old. You're old.
Bad Company.
You're an old bastard. You like Beethoven and Bach and stuff.
What a group. Nobody talks about Free. They should do. Free were absolutely fantastic group. They should have. Oh yeah, people.
Nobody talks about because nobody's heard of them. You daft sod.
Paul Rodgers, what a singer and what a group. And Bad Company.
Made the Carry On films, didn't he?
Bad Company are pretty good as well. So
he made the Carry On films, didn't he? Well, no, that's Peter Rodgers, isn't it?
What do you do with them? No. What do you do?
Anyway, let's get cracking. Otherwise, we'll be here till about midnight again.
Yeah. So, with regard to Sweeney, one of my Blu-ray upgrades has been the pilot called Regan. Oh yeah, I know. I've seen that.
Yeah. That was just before Network went bust, wasn't it?
Yeah. Rama Bah Humbug. Oh, and then he's put that there. Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah.
He wanted to prove that he could put little pictures there. Look. That's what he wanted to do.
As well as The Wicker Man, this was The Wicker Tree, starring Honeysuckle Weeks, topless as well. What's the world coming to? Stars having a strip off to enhance their film careers. Well, who would have thought any actress would do that? Unbelievable, isn't it?
They were forced to.
And then Tony says, watch The Spy 2019 about a Swedish actress persuaded to act as a spy in German-occupied Norway as they were afraid of being invaded, even though they were neutral. Yeah. That sounds an interesting concept. Yeah. Jamie says, I'm very selected with buying steelbooks. There you are.
Yeah, it'd rather nick them or have Tony Scott send them to.
I'm going to sell my Ghostbusters Frozen Empire steelbook. Don't think I'll watch that again. Wait, well done. So I'm really pleased that you're not keeping something that you don't like and that you think you're never going to watch again. So that's good. I applaud you.
He just said he
these people that keep films that they're never going to watch. What is the point? It's
if you just let me finish. I think he said really that he's going to get rid of it because he's not going to see it again. He didn't say he didn't like it.
But he's
just saying that he probably isn't going to watch it again.
But that is still a big, strong indication that he doesn't rate it that highly. If you love a film or really think that you're going to enjoy it again, then you keep it. It's obvious, isn't it?
Well, that's the bloody other side of why I bloody buy it. You
don't buy every single release, and
I don't buy every single release.
Even
I haven't got that boy with the heron. I haven't bought
boy with the heron.
There's no I haven't bought.
So you definitely will not buy that Star Trek one. Definitely
No, I won't.
You promise. Don't buy it. I don't want you to buy the blooming thing if you don't like it.
I'll buy it if it's 50 pence.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, if you do, you've got to confess that you've got it. We'll know if you're not confessing. Mind you, they haven't. You said
when was the last time I did a blog where I didn't show off what I've got this week?
That's true. So you'll have to be wearing rubber gloves and be holding it in a very strange manner. We'll look for. Mind you, you said they hadn't announced it, so maybe that you might escape from. They might not announce it.
I'm not aware of them of announcing it. But then again, I found this year to be the hardest.
That Dirty Harry one that you mentioned.
Yeah, as I was saying, it was almost buried. It was hardly mentioned.
Yeah, so perhaps they'll do that with that.
Yeah, but there'll be a different reason for it. It's like, did you know we were going to bring it out?
Yeah,
just keep it to yourselves.
But even you won't buy it, so that's good that we're getting somewhere. Even you wouldn't have it in your collection. Thank heavens for that.
Well, I'm gonna buy it now and send it to you.
No, oh no, I'd have to contaminate the house.
Right,
you have to get the biosuit.
And the next day I'm sending 2001 to you.
No, we don't want that. Actually, it makes 2001 look interesting. It was that bad, yeah.
It's because 2001 is interesting, you bastard. Anyway, next.
Any good, Tony? Jamie says. A farthing was a quarter of a penny.
I was right.
Oh, there you are.
I was right. I was right.
A quarter of a penny. Farthings and a wren on. I think that's true. Yeah, no, I do remember the wren. Used to have quite a few pre-decimal coins. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a week's wages to you two guys up there in bloody Yorkshire land.
A farthing.
Yeah, I mean, Christ, you were still putting those in the meter, weren't you, till last week?
Anyone seen the World War II film Anthropoid? It's such an underrated film. Cillian Murphy stars in it. I've heard people being mentioned that. Has that just sort of popped up as a new release? It sounds good anyhow. A new old release. Is it an older film?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I have seen it mentioned. It does look good. And I agree, he's a very good actor. If there's anyone you would pick at the moment as a current good actor, really good actor, you would pick Cillian Murphy. I think he's on the game, isn't he, at the moment, right up there as probably the best around. Tony says, Jamie, I found it enjoyable, but not much action. But I usually like films set in a relatively unusual locations. I have another World War II film set on the Swedish-Norwegian border. Lots of action. That sounds good. Yeah. Symbols. Rama 320 Hill. I like the brunch. Good film. The brunch. And the mask too. The brunch. Oh dear. Crunch time early. Oh dear. Yeah. Recommended you pick that up in and Dell. Right, thank you.
Yeah.
Steve Moe says Grinch.
Yeah, instead of brunch.
Yeah. I like a good brunch too.
I bet you do. You dirty old man.
Mogman movies, we're laughing. And then we've got him there with a magnifying.
Yeah, what's all that mean?
And something else. I don't know what that
a magnifying lens and 2 streaky bacon. What's that mean?
I'll have some streaky bacon.
All that's done is made me hungry. I've had nothing to eat. I'm starving.
And Stephen Moore says, I'm nipping off to make me a bacon butty with those two.
Yeah, but you're a bastard, aren't you? Where's mine?
well, can you save some for us? I want a bacon butty. Yeah. Rama 3 ill. Jasmina 1639, The Grinch top 1,000 movie. Oh. So that's that's her.
Oh, is that fictitious woman?
That's his girlfriend. Yeah, I know he's been mentioning her recently quite a bit. Is this serious? It could be serious. I don't know. It sounds serious. And then Tony says The Border, 2011 Swedish set World War II action film. Jamie.
Yeah, The Border. He was just talking about it. It sounds a good film. That.
Yeah, it does. Grinch is top 3. Oh, Jasmine, that's Jasmine.
You are?
Yeah, I know. He's talked about her. He goes on about her quite a bit.
If you get bored of him, you can come round here, my love.
Yeah.
If you look like that, Jesus, right?
I know.
He's punching above his. He's punching above his bloody waist, isn't he?
Yeah. Anthropoid is great, Jamie. Man with the Heart of Iron, also portraying Heinrich's assassination, is more focused on him rather than the people involved trying to kill him. Not as good, in my opinion. Oh, right. That's interesting. Yeah. Some good films there. They put his thumb up. I recommend The Girl with the Needle. It's based on a real-life case of a serial killer in Denmark after World War One. That sounds good. Did
you notice how many films around the Holocaust were on around Monday time? Sunday.
Of course, because it was the anniversary.
Well, I mentioned it in my blog. I said it was the 80th anniversary.
There has been a lot on that, very much.
There was a heck of a lot on. Schindler's List was on. There was the lost music of Auschwitz. There was it was tons of stuff on.
In news as well.
I'm so glad that it got the attention because obviously when it gets close to September, they show the Twin Towers blowing up and all of this sort of stuff. I mean, Auschwitz and the Holocaust. My God.
The thing about them is that unfortunately there's not many of the survivors left now to talk, but they have. I know a few years ago they got a lot to describe their experiences for historical record, but I don't think there's many of them left now. I think I
think it's very poignant, isn't it? Where you at the end of Schindler's List, you've got the the descendants of
that's right. Oh yeah,
all putting a stone on the actual.
That is a wonderful moment. It's so poignant, isn't it? It's it is. It kind of just makes that film even more special as a tribute as well. It's so powerful, wonderful. Yeah. And then very bleak, but the black and white cinematography is incredible. Yeah. That sounds intriguing, Jamie. That's film we mentioned, Tony says. Not sure I could watch a Carry On film anymore. I think most of them will have dated badly.
I don't know. That's like saying I can't watch a Normal Wisdom film anymore, or it's not about whether they've dated; it's whether the humor is still funny. Whatever it is about the situation.
And the cast, I think, is important.
The cast as well. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they just gelled so well. Maybe it's because when I watched them, I watched them over periods of time. You know, like it wasn't one after the other like you can watch now. You know, you can put them all. You can watch the whole carry-ons from the first one to the last one.
Well, I did last year. I reviewed the box set. I did a Carry-On film every week.
But what I'm saying
And
is,
it
back
was
in the
good.
day, you had to wait until ITV showed
Yeah.
it, or you had to, you know, even
Yeah.
further back in the day, you went to the cinema. So
Yeah.
I think the characters just ingrained on us because of us. You know, if you introduce something slowly enough, but but not that far apart that you forget about them, then they ingrain themselves in you. Do you see what I mean? It's amazing how certain TV shows that were in the 80s were on, and it's because it was on weekly and there was 30 odd episodes that I can remember it all. You know what I mean? Because even after repeats, I'm going, oh, I remember it even as if it was yesterday watching that, like the Doctor Who's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can remember I can remember where I was sitting when I saw the very last episode of Sylvester McCoy's Doctor. And yet I wasn't a big fan of Sylvester McCoy, but I know exactly where I was when that was on.
I can remember watching it, with my wife.
It's just that certain characters and certain stories just ingrain themselves in us.
Yeah.
If you've never watched a Carry-On before and suddenly you watch them, you probably can have that opinion. Yeah, they're dated. But it's British and we loved it. And it was part of our bank holidays and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I remember when I watched it. And I tell you what, I don't think Carry On Cab is aged at all.
No.
I think Carry On Cab is great.
No.
I can watch that over and over again.
When I rewatched all the Carry On films, I'd forgotten in a way how good those black and white ones were. A lot of people dismissed the black and white films.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed it because they had a certain pattern right at the beginning. Maybe about 3 of they had the way they were done, and then they developed. And by the time we'd got to Carry On Cabby, the style and everything was there. You knew exactly what you were getting, but at first they were just trying out, I think, quite a few things, and they'd end. They had a way they ended. They'd end by saying "carry on," regardless, or "carry on" this at the end of the films, and then it changed. They realized, I think, they were looking for a formula, and they did find it. And then once they'd got it, they stuck with it. Then they knew exactly what they were doing. And I think Carry On Cabby epitomizes where they'd got it totally right. They knew exactly what they were doing, and everything came together. There wasn't a bad performance in the film. The script was really good.
The one thing that I did think aged them really badly was the fact that they kept having Sid James as the dirty old man, the lech.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty clear to see that in real life there was no chance Sid James and Barbara Windsor was
exactly
right.
Yeah.
He was old then.
Yeah.
And
he always has looked old. That was the thing.
Yeah, he had a lived-in face, is what I think they used to say.
Even when he was young. Yeah, he had a lived-in face.
But I mean, that they should have played down as he got older.
Yeah.
I think. They should have been Jim Dale doing the chasing of Barbara Windsor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they did do that in the Doctor series.
Yeah. Because if you think about it, they realized that with Sidney James, because when he did Bless This House, he was playing an old father, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
A father character. So they'd already worked him out that was the kind of role he should be playing.
Yeah.
Not somebody chasing Barbara Windsor around.
Sid James was the main draw, but you didn't have to have him as an old lech all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. And it could eventually start to look a bit creepy and suspect.
That's what I'm saying. It was creepy as far as I'm concerned. You look at it now. If you were to look at it now and you'd never seen a Carry On film, you'd say, how did that dirty old man get away with?
Yeah. It was like when people suddenly realised that in James Bond, Roger Moore looked a bit strange in those last film.
Yeah, what's that? What's that 60-year-old man doing with that 18-year-old?
That's right. It's got, but with him, Roger Moore was able to get away with it. But by that film, he was looking his age.
Oh yeah, The Living Daylights. Jesus Christ!
It's like it's almost like you thought he was going to take a breath every time he ran a few more paces. And
it's no wonder that he went to bed with that ironing board called Grace Jones, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, but and Sid James, it just eventually was the same with him, even though he didn't really change that much in his looks. He was still there when he was young, but he started to look, I think, with him the same. It wasn't, and in a way, that's it. All that probably led to the death of Carry On films and the decline in them. Really, those things.
Yeah.
It reached a certain point, and then it suddenly people thought, "Oh, this is a bit," It's like what happened with Benny Hill. Benny Hill looked. People thought it was funny at first, him chasing around after all these young girls.
Anyway,
older and older.
How many more comments have we got? Because we'll be here till 1 o'clock, and I've got to go to bed for work in the morning.
Okay, we'll get on. But it's interesting talks.
No, it is. We should have had that conversation at 7.
Carry On Columbus was bad. Not even Jim Dale.
No, he couldn't.
It. I was watching Captain Kronos starring Misfit Ass. Oh, Caroline Munro. I would tickle her beaver anytime. Oh dear.
She's got her own show on. She's got her own show on TV where she introduces horror films.
Yeah. When Oliver Reed died in the middle of the last film Gladiator, they must have done a lot of CGI to finish it. Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
They did a lot of CGI. Yeah. They did a lot of long shots. They did a lot of stand-ins. I don't know how much AI.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stand-ins and CGI and that.
It was CGI. Yeah. And then Muckman movies, June Whitfield.
No, because June Whitfield is Terry Scott's wife in the TV series. She was in 2 Carry On films. She was in Girls and one other.
She was in Carry On Camping, but as with Charles Autry, wasn't she? Was she with Charles Autry?
No, Charles Autry split.
Oh, he's the one that visits.
He's the one who eats all their bacon and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's it. So I know in the Carry On Girls, she's like the opposition to the.
She's the opposite of the bear.
Yeah, that's it. In Carry On Camping, who is she with?
June Whitfield isn't in that. She's in Carry On Abroad as well.
Yeah.
She goes to Elle's Bells.
Yeah. Tony says Betty Marsden. Terry
there
Scott's
you are.
wife
Yeah, Betty Marsden is Terry Scott's wife.
Yeah.
She had a terrible laugh in that. That's all.
Yeah. Mike's DVD and Blu-ray collection. Hello,
Mike's
Del.
DVD and Blu-ray collection for ages. Hello.
Yeah. Hello, Ian. Hello. Welcome. Hello. If you're still here. Probably not now.
Yeah, probably not now.
Tony says, I think June Whitfield appeared in the later Carry-Ons. I remember in Girls and Abroad. Yeah. Let's all leave in a minute for a laugh.
No, let's all leave for a minute for a laugh. Because that was because of the 11 watching now or whatever it was.
Yeah. Ian, when you publicised Dell's channel, the viewers on here went down to -2. Oh, no,
I can believe it.
Yeah.
Actually, flogging a dead
-2. The ghosts that left were watching. Yeah.
It's like flogging a dead horse, I can tell you.
Presence is in the cinema now, Ian. Right. Yeah, that's the ones you mentioned. I like Time Crimes, but I prefer Triangle, which follows very similar tropes. I thought Hector made silly decisions in Time Crimes. All right, okay.
Has he
Fair
just admitted watching the BBC production of Triangle?
Oh no, God, that's going back years,
The
isn't it?
That Movies just admitted that he watched that disaster of a BBC soap called Triangle.
Yeah. Ooh, he goes, "Ooh, I'll take that, Del." Oh,
the
I
smile
already
too,
have
yeah.
Smile Steelbook Del.
Yeah, my pleasure. You can have that.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Ian, how many VHS tapes did you collect back in the day? God, I had loads. I had absolutely stacked.
I would say I had hundreds. I wouldn't say I had thousands. I had hundreds.
I possibly had about, I don't know.
The reason I say that is I don't know where I'd have stuck them if I had thousands.
I had a lot. I'd run out of room virtually, I think, with them. And then soon as it happened, I gladly chucked them all out. And now I'm probably chucked out loads that are fetching lots of money now by people who get nostalgic about VHS. You see them. Oh, I've got an original Jaws now. Yeah, 30 quid. What? Eh? Yeah. What? Something ridiculous like that, you know. And they must have made loads of those.
I will say this: I can understand collectors wanting them all, VHS, video CDs of it, all of that sort of stuff. Yeah. For me, it's not about that. It's about the film.
For
I like
me,
to have,
it is.
I like to have the best version of the film. I like to have older versions if they're different cuts of the film.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not about the format with me too much.
With me, I was just so glad to see the back of VHS. You know, it was light and day. The moment I'd seen DVD, I just thought, wow, this is the future. This is going to be it. And that was it. VHF, I could get rid of them all.
Well,
get rid of all the buggers.
To be quite honest, it was recordable DVD that salvaged DVD.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, the problem that you've got with a digital format like DVD is that unlike a videotape, you couldn't record on it. But then as soon as you could record onto a DVD, that was it.
Yeah. And if anybody's got any old TV shows, American ones, particularly on DVD, you're onto a good thing. Keep hold of them. They're never
Hang on a minute.
Blu-ray release.
Can I just change that for you? If anybody's got any American TV series or British TV series, then send them to me. I'll gladly put them in my collection. Forget these bastards. Right?
I'll gladly
it's me that's missing out. You sons! You never sent me anything. You all hate me. That's it. Now we can move on. I've got that out of the system.
Any DVD TV series that are the American ones, even Farscape. I wasn't as keen on Farscape, to be honest.
I've got Farscape.
I know you do. You love Farscape. I never got into it. I thought, I don't know. I just didn't quite get into Farscape. But everybody did love it, but I didn't.
Not everybody. You just said.
Someone. Yeah. I had about 250 VHF tapes back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, I had more than that.
I had more than that, but oh God.
Christ, 250 VHS tapes would have just taken up my Star Trek collection.
All the money I could have, how much I spent on them as well. Oh God. Ian, how many porn VHS tapes did you collect back in the day? No, I don't think I've got any VHS porn tapes. No. No.
No, he got rid of them. He said,
"I got rid of them and bought the DVD versions."
Oh, the DVD.
Yeah. Debbie Takes Dallas or whatever it is.
Bloody hell, man.
I think I had as many, if not more, VHS tapes as I'd recorded off the TV. Yeah, of course, I used to do that, and that even added more to them. I used to record loads off.
But
TV.
that was the biggest feature that got my dad to buy one in the first place, was
Yeah.
recording off a TV.
Like you said, I remember, making sure the video was set for all the next generation when BBC Two was showing it, because that was a good way of getting them on there and watching them, and fantastic. Del, send me a private message in Discord. I've no idea how it works.
After this, I'll do that. Yeah.
So we'll sort that out.
It's not a problem. No.
Yeah. I've still got VHS machines in the cupboard unopened. Well, I'd hang on to them because people are, they'll be worth quite a bit. I think.
I've got 3 VHS recorders up in the attic, but they're not down here anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I bet the prices on eBay have gone.
And I tell you what, he's quite right. They're all Panasonics.
Are they? Yeah. Well, Panasonic's the best.
All my video recorders upstairs are Panasonics.
Yeah.
Strangely enough.
Yeah. Charles, are they brand new, unused machines? They'll be worth a bit. I would have thought. Oh yeah.
Well, I'll tell you the trouble with that, because I've watched a number of shows that talk about electronics and repairs and all of that sort of stuff. Right? Doesn't matter whether they're in a box or not. The belts will perish. They're rubber. They just dry up, perish.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether you got them in a box or not. You'll be replacing the belts at least. So get them used.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
The capacitors as well will go in them and all sorts of stuff,
Jamie says Demi Moore has received a nomination.
Oh, that's the Oscars we were talking about.
Emilia Perez has received the most nominations, I believe. All right. 13 nominations. That's quite a lot, isn't it? That is a lot. Oh yeah, I'd like to see the
sure to get one then.
The Brutalist has been mentioned a bit before, hasn't it?
That's that one with Guy Pearce in it, isn't that right?
The terror in the tongues was that there was no terror at all. Yes, they are, Tony. At the end of the video, you could pick up a machine for £50 or less. All right. Do you still have any VHS tapes to play on them, Charles? Hundreds, Tony. Never get rid of my videotapes. Crikey.
I started to get rid of my
it's space, tapes. Isn't it? As well.
I started to get rid of certain videotapes. I was sending them to, what I considered friends, but I've still got some left.
Yeah.
I never got quite to the end of sending those out.
Yeah. Tony says he doesn't have any VHF left now, tapes or player.
Yeah.
Peter Lorre played. That's it, Mr. Moto. That's the one with the glasses, which would be considered dodgy nowadays. The thing I'm running out of is DVD recorders. Down to my last 3, and 2 are a bit iffy. Oh yeah, DVD recorders. I remember those. Yeah.
Well, Blu-ray recorders can record DVDs. So they're getting hard to get hold of now.
Yeah. I only ever had one DVD recorder, a Philips VHS DVD combo, big beast of a machine.
Yeah, do you remember those VHS DVD?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Philips, Tony, I bet that was expensive.
Well, Philips developed the VHS 2000 tape.
Yeah, that's right. And they went.
They were dual sided, weren't they?
Yeah.
You turned the tape round, it recorded on the other side. It was the
Yeah.
only player that actually did that.
Yeah.
Right.
I still have my Panasonic VHS player. I only own 2 VHS tapes now. Invasion of the Body Snatchers 78 and a special edition of The Exorcist.
2 good tapes to have.
Yeah. Charles, it probably was. Don't remember after all these years. I had a Philips TV to go with it.
Yeah, my widescreen TV was a Philips 32-inch.
Yeah.
Silver it was.
Yeah. Jamie says, I agree about Jim Carrey. He needs to be on our screens more. Charles Duncan, I had to let some tapes go to make room, but bought the DVD to replace them. Yeah.
I think a lot of us did that.
Yeah. Jasmine, he just wanted to say he has a girlfriend. We know you, Rama. Oh. Yeah, just say it again. No, that was the problem with VHS, Charles. The amount of space they took up. Rama's companion has been loaned from Del's Sax dungeon. Hope it was rinsed out. Oh dear.
All I know is what the hell's he doing at home if he's got a girlfriend looking like that?
Yeah.
That's all I'll say about it. It's sus to me. It's sus. That's all I gotta say.
Back in the day, Tony Phillips was the most expensive product to get.
Philips were expensive, yeah.
Yeah, don't hear as much about Philips these days.
I mean, I would say Sony Trinitron trumped Philips in price.
Yeah. They must have merged with another company. Can't remember who.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yeah. By the way, Del, you mentioned ballerina in your blog.
Yes, I did.
The reason Keanu Reeves is in it is because yes, it's a John Wick spin-off. Yeah, I was remembering that. Yeah, when you said ballerina.
In my blog, somebody asked me the question, "What are you looking forward to as a non-hyped film?" Yeah. And I was reading down the list, and ballerina didn't really ring a bell with me about that being a John Wick film. I was just going. But did you hear some of the stuff that's coming out, like Highlander? They're making another Highlander film.
Yeah.
They're doing Stargate. Yeah. Stargate. I was going, bloody hell.
Yeah, Stargate was a big hit, wasn't it? Why are they doing that?
Well, yeah, but I mean, Highlander is a big
TV
film.
series.
It's not that. It's like, why are you making a Highlander film?
Yeah.
I mean,
this is quite funny. How many times has Del said bastard tonight?
Did you know?
Yeah,
did you
have
know
a bastard counter?
Did you know? I had a secret bet tonight on how many times I could get the word out.
Oh right.
Just so you know, by the way, today is a special. I did I did say to somebody, I will try and get that in as many times as I can. I said it shouldn't be too hard with the rants I do. I'm just wondering if somebody would, because it was a drinking game.
Yes, yeah.
Right. And somebody said, "Can you give me the word?" And I said, "Well, I say bastard a lot."
Oh dear. Right. Tony says it was an egg in a frying pan.
Oh, right.
Magnifying glass.
Magnifying glass, didn't it? You didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it looked like it was frying. Yeah.
Did that look nothing like an egg?
I'm having a laugh here. I can't find The Border from 2011. So many films called The Border.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought Jack Nicholson one. Isn't that one called The Border? Where is it gone?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah. I may be wrong there. I'm sure there is. He's working on the border. I'm sure that's called The Border. Tony says, I got a DVD quite a long time ago, Jamie. I'm guessing it never had a Blu-ray. All right. Okay. It's not called Beyond the Border, is it, Tony? Night, guys. Off to watch The High Chaparral before bed. Bye, Charles. Thank you for joining us.
Chaparral, bloody hell.
Yeah, that's going back a bit. I remember that on BBC Two.
It was either that or Bonanza, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah. But yeah, we used to all watch that High Chaparral as a family. Yeah, loved it.
I used to like Alias Smith and Jones.
Yeah, oh yeah, we watched that. Oh, wasn't that a great series? Oh, fantastic series.
I got those on DVD, Alias Smith and Jones.
Yeah. No, I have not that one too. It's Finnish, set in World War II as well. Right, that's that other film was on about. I Chaparral, quality Charles. I have the Swedish DVD box set, Tony says. Wow.
Yeah, but it weren't called I Chaparral, you dirty git. I've got a Swedish DVD box set or two, and it weren't called I Chaparral.
He's thinking it's one for his sex dungeon.
That's him admitting he's got his own sex dungeon. That is
Beyond the Border.
I'm off to watch a Swedish box set. My ass. I bet you are.
Beyond the Border. Synopsis says Sweden. It's from 2011, directed by Richard Home. There you are. Very lucky Tony having that special.
I bet it is. You won't see him for dust. He'll be coming out of his room with either he'll have wrist ache, arm ache, or something ache. Right. That's all I got to say about
that. Charles has just put tea. Okay. Yeah. Sussed it. When I put in Beyond the Border in IMDb, it came up as The Border. So maybe it had a little change for America. And now that happens.
They do that a lot.
Change the titles, and you can't find films because it's got an American title.
Yeah.
You're right, Jamie. Beyond the Front Line is the Finnish one. Beyond the Border is the Swedish one. Oh, right. It's
Tone is the tops when it comes to Swedish films.
Yeah.
So I'd agree with that. Yeah.
It's 2011. That's the trouble with foreign films. They tend to get various different titles for each region.
Yeah, you've got the lot, you dirty little git.
Just watch trailer. Looks pretty good. My rented on Prime. I didn't know Prime did that. Yeah. It's got his thumbs.
See, honestly, that Tony, he's out there multiplying faster than a calculator. Tell you. Dirty man.
Here we are again. I knew we'd get Melissa George's triangle. I knew we'd get that mentioned. Muckman says, I love Farscape. I still have the box sets on DVD.
I got the blue, that woman that's in blue. She was at a convention and she signed my second copy.
I couldn't get past it. To me, it was like Muppets in space. With you, I just didn't get on with it. I don't know why. It just didn't. And yet,
it's probably because of all the Muppets that were in it.
That's it. It must have been them that put me off because it just didn't. I didn't connect with it. It did well though, didn't it? A lot of people really enjoyed it, and it had some films after it had finished.
Yes, it did. Yeah, there was two sort of like something like the Overlords or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
The Something Wars or something.
That's it. Anyway. Yeah. Still has. It still probably has a big fan base. Stephen Moore says,
"Bloody hell! What's that face?"
This is good. Mojo is a 2015 American crime thriller written and directed by William Monahan. The film stars Garrett Hedlund, Oscar Isaac, Mark Wahlberg, Louise Bourgeon, and Walton Goggins. That's a good name, Walton Goggins.
Goggins, yeah.
Goggins, not Joggins. Goggins.
But what's
Yeah.
that face? Jesus Christ.
So that's called Mojo.
Some gurning competition, isn't it? I mean, what the hell?
2015 Mojave. There you are. Tony says, good night, all. Very funny tonight. It was. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. You get.
Yeah, yeah, it was very funny. Steve, most cheap Blu-ray picked up from Music Magpie. Yeah, great Music Magpie. Here it is. Peacekeeper Wars.
Yeah, it's something Wars, wasn't it? I couldn't quite remember what it was.
I did. I like Space Precinct. Very underrated.
That's been advertised everywhere as having a special Jerry Anderson Blu-ray edition coming out or something, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Mark its anniversary or something.
Yeah, it was. I always want to say Walter Goggins rather than Walton.
Yeah.
And we're at the last comment, and it is from Jamie. Good night, chaps and chapettes and the sex robot. Well, thank you, everybody that's joined us. Hope you've enjoyed it. We've had a very good time. Totally enjoyed it. It's been great. Thank you, everyone. And as usual, I'll let him say farewell.
Well, I always say, and it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Oh, for God's sake, you nearly forgot them.
Yeah, no, I did. I was waiting for you to say something else.
Salute.
And all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.